Good morning, traders out there. Who's ready for another bright day right here, of course, on Trade the Pool? I'm excited to get things started. We'll be taking a look at the playbook, take a look at the sunrise report, and of course, get to the trading action. And I'm excited, as you guys know. You guys know how I'm a big sports fan, big Miami fan, Miami Heat getting things started today. We got NBA start up last night. Going to be taking a look to see if maybe a little gambling play off of this. Who knows? We'll take a look at some trading action. Let's get to today's playbook and let me know, what are you guys seeing out there? It seems like it's really wicked action overnight, right? Like we talked about this yesterday, how sometimes we just kind of trend so much in the pre-market, it's almost the probability for things to bounce back, right? So we'll see what happens today with the market. Let's go take a look at the playbook and see what we can come up with. Like always, guys, smash the like and let's get things started. All right, let's get to the playbook action. We'll take a look at what's going on here. And the first one up I want to take a look at is Baba. And I will let you guys know, full disclosure, I have a swing trade on already, this name. So we'll see what happens with it. But doesn't look too bad here. Let's take a look at the chart here and talk a little bit more about it. And you guys see Palantir there, a little sneak peek of what's coming up. But Baba, I'll see if this can get right back going, right? I'm looking at the hourly chart. Really, that's where I want to be focusing. You can see how we kind of have this support right underneath it around the kind of the 99.77s. We've come down there 1, 2. This is the third time. So I'm looking for like maybe an undercut and rally back above the 101s today, going towards the 102. Of course, I'm already in on this swing, so we'll see how things work out. I could add to it today, and if I do add to it, I think it's going to be closer towards the 98 and 97. I want to hold on to this bad boy, as I feel like this could be a big win in China. Let's go to the second one. Let's get to Colgate-Palmolive, and I wanted to take a look at this one yesterday. Didn't take the trade, but it's still setting up for today. Let's take a look at the action here, as Colgate-Palmolive yesterday was going towards the 99, and it looked good off that 99. It eventually made a break towards that 100. Right now, trading sideways off this level. If you take a look at the daily chart, this has been on a decline, though, and pulling back. So this has been pulling back since pretty much September. And now that we're going into a little bit more uncertainty with the elections, I feel like this could be a name that gets a little bit of a pop going back towards 101 and 103. Am I calling a 109? No, I'm not calling that. I think this could be a smaller move, like maybe a 3%, maybe up towards 105, which gets you more a 5.2% return. We'll see what happens there in Colgate-Palmolive, and not a bad name to watch for defensive action. Of course, you can also take a look at the XLP. I'm watching that to see what happens there. I think this could also make a push there back to the 84 and 85. But of course, this is a small move also, right? Like a 2 to 3% move. But I'm watching these staples, as I think they're going to get a little bit of a lift. All right, let's go to the third one here. We'll take a look at Palantir, and Palantir not looking bad at all. It's been a complete monster rip, and you guys know I actually traded this to the upside. Now I'm getting a little bit risky here, as I want to talk a little bit about a trade here that I want to call short side on Palantir now. Why? Because the big resistance at the 45, it's a big weekly resistance that we're running into back towards 2021. You have this big rounding pattern, right? This looks like a huge cup almost, right? And at this point, I'm thinking, hey, could we pull back to the 90 MA? Yes, without a doubt. That's 39. But I think we could even pull back further. I think we could eventually get back down towards 30 and 32, 33. That's where I would definitely probably take a part in the rally back in Palantir. But right now, I'm looking for a little bit of a downturn away from the breakout above the 45, which could act as resistance. Of course, that's from 2021, but we'll see what happens here in Palantir. Getting a little bit brave calling a short, because this is definitely a retail favorite. I keep seeing more and more mentions out there. They're like, I just keep adding to Palantir. Well, that's a recipe for disaster, right? You can't just keep adding on the stock unless it's going to keep going to the moon. But we'll see what happens here in Palantir Technologies. Can they get things continuing to move? All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's playbook action. Like always, the playbook's about taking a look into more of a strategic option, right? Whether that be on the fundamentals, whether that be on the technicals, whether that has a story attached to it. I think it's very important to try to combine these variables. But like always, you guys make your call and hit us up. Tag us on Twitter, on X, on Facebook, anywhere, really. We have tons of different medias, right? And we want you guys to tag us with your playbook or maybe a trade idea that you guys see out there. Maybe it's just a big stock moving. Tag us. We'll go ahead and see you guys out there. Let's get to now the sunrise report as we take a look at what's going on in the market and why things are moving. There is a lot to talk about on the sunrise report. 7 headlines to run through. I'm watching right here a nice cup and handle pattern on VXX. So if you're trading VXX right now, you could literally see the cup and handle right here. So you see the cup on these wicks? And then now the handle starting to follow, could get up there towards the high, could get up there towards $3. It's always good to see symmetrical patterns. We'll talk a little bit about this. Let's go to sunrise report. We got to get to the live trading action. I'm trying to trade, guys. To tell you the truth, I was trying to trade this bad boy too, but we'll just leave the VXX alone right now. Let's get to today's sunrise report. All right, guys, let's bring it up to the top. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the markets. Like always, it's not easy in the markets, but we'll be taking a look. First news up is all about Qualcomm, and this is very important, guys. Of course, Qualcomm shares have taken a hit, falling nearly 5% in pre-market trading. The drop comes after reports surfaced that ARM, the British chip designer, may cancel a key architecture license that allows Qualcomm to design its chips. This could be a major disruption, and especially with Qualcomm's deep presence in the smartphone processor market. If the license is revoked, what will happen then to Qualcomm's momentum in the AI-driven personal computing space? Something definitely to keep your eyes on. All right, let's get to the second report. And I hope you guys aren't eating McDonald's because situations like this, well, not really just like this, but yeah, it's facing a serious challenge here after the CDC linked an E. coli outbreak to its quarter pounder burgers. The company's stock dropped by 7%. The outbreak has affected 49 people across 10 states, leading to 10 hospitalizations, 1 death. McDonald's responded quickly, removing severed onions, which may be the source from its supply chain. Could this incident dent customer confidence, or will McDonald's swift action limit the damage here? I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'm not having McDonald's. I hope you're not having McDonald's either, but let's keep it moving. Let's get to the third one here on the Sunrise Report. We'll talk a little bit about shifting gears, going into Coca-Cola, as they reported strong Q3 earnings here, beating the expectations here with 77 cents per share, $11.95 billion in revenue. However, shares did drip down 2% in pre-market trading. The decline in case volume, especially in categories like water, coffee, and teas, raises some concern. While, of course, the company managed to offset the lower demand with higher pricing. Is this a sustainable strategy moving into 2025? Of course, we've all seen it. Either it's shrinkflation or the prices have gone skyrocketing. I mean, you used to be able to get a lot of, like, let's say like your 20 ounce, 2 for $20.25, right? Now you could pay for that one Coke $3, right? So when you really think about it, inflation has been absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, when you go to buy certain products now, it's the price of a meal for a drink, right? So crazy things here, guys. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the fourth one here as we talk a little bit more about the disaster that's Boeing. And if you guys did not catch, I did put out something on my Twitter. So if you're not following me, you're doing something wrong, guys. At MoneyMitch_TTP. Give me a good follow, guys. I put out information on Boeing about a satellite that was built by them that literally broke in space. It blew up in over 20 pieces. And it's actually causing some major crisis in space for these satellites. Tons of satellites are having to move just to avoid objects running into it. This is horrible, horrible news. Nothing is right at Boeing. And if the CEO doesn't change things, I really think that Boeing should be going towards zero. Yes, I said it. It should go to zero. Now, the only question is how much lobbying will they do to keep themselves out of trouble, right? Because that's what they do. They just go and they just spend money into the government and say, don't hit us, Boeing. Don't hit us, Boeing, right? Well, the truth is they should be getting hit. Let's talk about more situations here with Boeing as we'll talk a little bit here about Boeing as Boeing's new CEO, Kelly Ortberg, faces a steep climb. He's calling for a leaner, more efficient company amid ongoing labor strikes that are costing Boeing $1 billion a month. The company has been dealing with the quality control issues as Ortberg seems to determine to reset the priorities and steer the ship forward. With more than 32,000 machinists still on strike, could the financial pressures accelerate a deal, or will the standoff linger into the busy holiday travel season? I see at least the strike ending today, as they'll have a vote today, and we'll be taking a look to see what happens there. They'll try to put out some good news, but the truth is, Boeing is such a disaster, guys. I can't even believe some of the stuff that comes out of it. But let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next one here as we keep it going. We'll go to Starbucks, as everyone thought that, hey, Starbucks now has Chipotle's CEO. Everything's gravy, right? Well, not the truth, right? Starbucks isn't having the best quarter either. So after 3 consecutive quarters of declining sales, shares falling nearly 5% in the pre-market as the company's global same-store sales dropped 7%, its steepest decline since the pandemic. With Starbucks suspending 2025 guidance, it looks like the coffee giant has some serious strategic decisions ahead to make. We'll see what happens with CEO Nicole, if he's able to figure things out there. Of course, coming from Chipotle, everyone was super excited about it. I don't think this is something to be excited about. Starbucks definitely struggling. And when you think about it, there's tons of competition in the coffee space. They just have the leader. Of course, if China goes into better situation, that can turn things around for Starbucks because of their major exposure to China. But for right now, I'd keep this on the sideline. We'll see what happens. Starbucks on the decline. All right, let's get to the 6th one here. We'll talk a little bit about Enphase. And finally, Enphase Energy took a 9% tumble, missing Q3 estimates and issuing a disappointing Q4 guidance. Revenue expectations fell short of what analysts had forecasted, and it's likely to spook investors in the short term for solar stocks. I talked about how they're coming out of seasonal strength, and you got to be careful there. Now those could be turning around really hard. And of course, stocks like this one, ENPH, SEDG, really could struggle. Now, of course, take a look to see if the leader starts to take a hit, which is First Solar. And that's one to keep an eye out for. Let's get to the last one report here on the Sunrise Report. And if you guys appreciate me going through the Sunrise Report, just do me the favor, guys. Hit the like button and always catch the Sunrise Report on Twitter, on X, and give a retweet. Let everybody see what I'm trying to put out there, right? What I'm trying to help you guys with so that you guys can come into the market and be ready to rock and roll. Taiwan Semiconductor found itself in a little bit of a center of some buzz here, and it's actually pretty concerning. The company denied reports that the U.S. is investigating its dealings with Huawei, of course, as TSM's chips were found in their products. Of course, they have right now an embargo on those, right? Like, you cannot be selling to this company the chips. The whole battle of the U.S. trying to keep China's and not give them access to certain chips. So how will this impact the ongoing tech tensions between the U.S. and China? Well, just continue raising them higher and higher as we still see some more issues. And who knows, maybe TSMC actually takes a hit on this. Maybe regulatory actually comes in and says, hey, you're doing something wrong, and we're going to take some money from you because of it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me in the Sunrise Report. Of course, like always, guys, you guys can catch this on X. And like always, this is all about giving you guys in the know. So do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's get over to the live trading side of things now. Take a look into the market. Look at that pattern, right? I talk about this all the time. Take a look at this, guys. Right here. Look, my camera here, guys. Remember I talked about how it could get up there, start breaking through the highs? It just did that, guys. There's that cup and handle pattern. Let's get things started. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's kick things off. Man, I miss my man, Michael. I need to bring him back soon. You guys smash the like, give some love for Michael, and let's start it off. You know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool.
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What up out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you guys, and I'm excited to get to the show today. We'll see what we can come up with, where the money is, and I'm seeing different talk in the conversation in the chat. Say hello first, like always, and if you're new to the show, it's always good to see some new faces in the chat. So good to see you guys like always. I see, I think that's Javi out there, Jane, Eli, Paul. It's good to see you guys. Definitely smash the like. Let's get to the stock trading action and see what we can come up with. The money is out there. I'm ready to take it. Let's see what we can come up with. Of course, where the stocks are moving today. Let's take a look here. All right, going to the charts. Of course, I'll be watching Palantir, but let's start it off with, of course, the SPY and the overall market, right? That conversation. Let's see what we can come up with here as we've seen the SPY start to pull back. And one thing I can see here is that there's been a couple of times to break towards the resistance, the 585. It looks like today we're going to test the support again. And I want to see if the 580 gets broken today, not just the 581. The 581 is definitely within reach. It's more down here towards the 580 if we're going to go down and really start decline. Now, VXX are already making a move here in the pre-market. I was thinking about taking just the pre-market trade, but that's just a harder one, guys, because the spread gets a little wide, and in the pre-market, probably the VIX, not really the trade to kind of make there. But I'll be watching it because we're right off the daily support kind of recovery action, right? Will we come right back up here towards like 54 and 55 today? It's all going to be about, will we get a takedown, right? And I think the main stock that I'm watching, at least on the big boys, is Apple. Not even NVIDIA, right? Because Apple was going for the rip, going for the rip, going for the rip. And you can see how this trend line is now acting as resistance, right? We could pull back below the 9 EMA, maybe making a way towards 231. So it just seems like these stocks don't want to take off, and that's something to be concerned. Of course, the dragon that is Tesla yesterday eventually made the move that I was looking for, but it was after washouts to the downside, down towards 215.26. So at this point, I got to just keep an eye out to see what happens there in Tesla. And then how do we see the chart, right? Well, what will happen with the earnings is really important, right? Will the earnings bring it back towards 250? Or will we just be seeing Tesla trade back towards maybe 190, right? I mean, this is really concerned. And the problem here is that you're stuck in the middle of the chart. When you're stuck in the middle of the chart, essentially no one has edge. The bulls don't have edge. The bears don't have edge. And in this case, I think Tesla is a no touch. Maybe you could trade it today for the action of just trying to jump on the momentum to the upside or downside, right? But I would not be holding this thing overnight, at least for myself, because that's just too much risk here for Tesla. You don't know which stocks are going to go in what direction. McDonald's on the watch. Well, I hope at least it's not because you ate some of those quarter pounders, Par. But we'll see what happens here. Nice list here given ARM, ENPH, Starbucks, TXN. All names to kind of keep an eye out for, right? Not bad at all. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Looks like we got a question here. Good morning. Yesterday, I had a loss due to the platform failure. How can I solve that? Well, I would definitely reach out to our customer service team if you can provide any specific example, recordings. That is also a big plus, of course. But reach out to them, explain the situation. There's no guarantees that I'm saying that they're going to be able to resolve that situation. But like always, I'm here to try to help. I'm just a trader. I'm not the customer service team. But one thing's for certain, I'm here to help you guys continue moving forward. And it sucks to hear that you had a little bit of some issues. Like always, just try to learn the platform as much as possible before trading is very, very important. Hey guys, it's good to see you. Paul, new to the chat. Definitely good to see you, man. If you have a stock you want me to take a look at, maybe just do some analysis. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Like always, guys, here to do education and give you guys the examples. Really, to let you guys learn from my journey, right? And you guys see me battling, taking bigger size positions. Yesterday, 600 shares of Tesla, and it was a battle. It was a battle indeed, guys. And I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to keep swinging, guys, because the truth is I have some money now. I want to keep pushing. I want to get to that funded account. So there's only one way, and that's continuing to battle. And I am not afraid of little ups and down swings. The key here is going to be going about it with the right strategy and finding our way to size up and taking the right trades, right? Like we talked about yesterday, when we get to that full size, we want to be trying to get towards very minimal risk on the downside. It's okay to break even or break out of a trade small if you're big size, because in my eyes, the truth is you're only limiting the damage, which is our first job as traders. Limit the damage. Then our second job as traders is to make profits, right? Because the truth is the first thing we can't do is lose. The second thing that we can't do is what? Not give up those gains, right? So wish you guys the best of luck this morning. Keep pushing, guys. All right, how's that VXX coming around? Yeah, that was the one right here. That was this one right here. Look, guys. Remember I told you that the cup and handle pattern for the $3 breakout? It's at 318. It's already doing it, team. Look at it. This is the cup and handle pattern, as pretty as it gets. I wanted to kind of trade this one, but it was like right before the show start. Like this pulled back to 240s at 825, 828. And I was watching it, team. I'll be honest as I could be, man. I wanted to trade it, but I was like, if I start the show now, I got to do the playbook. I got to do the sunrise report. I don't want to be in a trade just looking to the right the whole time. But man, nice little breakout there towards the 320s. I hope you guys were able to land that one. And that's why I had it on my screen to begin with, because I was watching it, team. I could see the cup and handle forming. I was just waiting to see if we would get the actual handle breakout above the high. And right there, you just got it. Nice little breakout there in VRAX. So hope you guys nailed that one. All right, Javi, did you answer my question earlier? Let's go take a look at that question. I think you did post it up. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. All right, so morning, Mitch. How do you full-time trade with 2% general risk and profit split? Then they say don't trade penny stock. Well, it's as simple as this, right? What you want to be thinking about here is how can I focus on the risk side of things and then worry about the profit splitting later, right? Because if you're a profitable trader, right, the idea here is to just be consistent, right? Because that's how you go ahead and get that profit, right? Of course, with the profit split, it's all about having different ideas there. Maybe you're going into our new limited account, which is a 70-30 split, right? Or we have an ultimate account, right, that gets you all the way up to 80% split, right, where you're only sharing 20. What really only matters here is understanding, hey, if you have the money, if you have the buying power, like $160,000, yeah, maybe you want to just go trade by yourself, right? You are going to be putting that whole amount of money to risk. And in this situation, what are you putting up at risk, right? Essentially, you're putting up at risk just that eval cost, right? And that's the difference really between other traders that have all their money into an account is the exposure and the danger there with that, right? And so just keep an eye out on that. That's one thing that I would watch. Of course, figure out what your risk is. You don't need to do it at 2%. It depends if you're doing the whole account, right? If you're doing the whole account, maybe it is a 2% risk because that's a bigger amount, right? But I don't put all the account into each trade. I'm more focused on the dollar amount that I'm risking, right? Because that's what's important to me. Of course, I could play into more of the percentage game, but sometimes that determines a little bit different when, yes, the percentage could be a risk of 5%, but how much share size am I doing there, right? How much capital am I putting into the trade? And majority of the times, I don't put all the capital into one position. But Javi, there's no easy way to answer this. Definitely for me, it's in the main account with the bigger sizing. I don't want to be in these smaller cap names because the truth is they move so fast. You have to have the ability to, for me, if you really want to gain and have the best ability in penny stocks, you have to have the ability to direct route. And that's why I don't mind trading them in maybe the limited account where I can get a little bit smaller size and let the position work. But if I really want to go big sizing on these, that's the truth. That's one thing that I will give you guys, at least from my knowledge. I think that you want to have direct order routing, and that's going to cost you money, a lot of money. So those types of traders usually don't come around to penny stocks in the first place. So we could talk all day about it, Javi. I'm back and forth on penny stocks, man. I trade them. I enjoy trading them because sometimes I'm really on point with them. But then there's times where they come out of favor and it's really hard. And those are the times where I think you need to just stay away, right? There's no one way there. Many YouTubers tell to win millions. Monthly target is 12 to 15 reward. My risk right now is $50, so $600 to $700 a month. When I do this consistent, I size up to 100, 200. Yeah, Par, I think you're doing it great, man. Don't get it twisted, right? Of course, you see me sizing up and trying to take bigger and bigger trades. A part of this is also trying to get towards the funded a little bit faster. And that could take a little bit of a slower approach, but you guys have seen me trade that slower approach, and I've done pretty well on that. Maybe that's the consistent way to just continue going. But I'm trying to push my level, try to get to that next step up in the sizing. And maybe I need to find my way on the risk side, right? Or the reward side. How much reward do I need? Do I really need to be 3 to 1 or 2 to 1? Maybe it's 1.5 to 1, right? Things like this I need to be thinking about as I keep sizing up. There's no one answer. We just got to keep battling. Let's get back to the market, guys. It's good questions this morning, guys. I love the questions. At the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. We can talk through things. And if you have anything against what I'm saying, please put it up. Because the truth is, I'm not here to be, saying that I have all the answers. I mean, I wish I did. Because if I did, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably just be making millions. That's why I always laugh about those guys that say they're making, like $30,000 in one day. Guys, if I start making $30,000 in one day, yes, you guys will probably be able to see me, but I will be on a beach somewhere and sipping pina coladas and trading, right? Because that's the truth, guys, is that there's not many traders that are making $30,000 in one day. That's just But all right, let's go back to the market. Let's go ahead. Let's see what we can come up with. It's good to see you guys in the chat, guys. Oh, yeah, Ross Cameron. Yeah. Warrior Trader. Yeah. Guys, you guys know I've traded with him. And you guys know what I think about him, right? I mean, I don't have anything wrong against him personally, but I can tell you guys right now, there's some little particular things that you might want to pay attention to Ross Cameron. I think personally, and damn, I'm sure I'm going to hear about this. I think he trades with an algorithm, but that's a whole nother conversation, Jake. We can talk about that another day. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's get back to the market. Let's take a look here. Tesla. What will Tesla do today? NVIDIA, of course, breaking through highs and continuing to climb. This is one stock that, to tell you guys the truth, I suck at trading this one. That's why I don't even look at it, I feel like I lose like 9 out of 10 times with NVIDIA, but we'll see what happens here, guys. Will the decline start to come in? The SPY is continuing to leak. VXX starting to go up there towards 5180s. The Q's dropping fast there. We'll see what happens. A lot of earnings stocks, right? A lot of stocks making moves. AT&T had earnings today, and it was down on the first reaction, but now starting to come back. And why is this? Well, I think that you're starting to see some people play some of the dividend players as you go into an uncertainty right before the election. So if anything, I don't expect extreme upside. I expect extreme downside. If we do get an extreme upside breakout, I don't know if that's necessarily a good move into the elections. That, to me, would be concerning. I would like to see a pullback into the elections, and then we can get ripping and roaring, depending on, right, how the market feels about which president wins. Or does it even matter? That's the truth. I don't even think it does matter. I still think we'll get some upside reaction, but paying attention for potential downside these next 2 weeks, right? The elections are within 2 weeks, like 13 days now, but I'd keep an eye out on this to see what happens. Another one that we need to watch is the nuclear trade. I've talked about it on Trader TV yesterday about how I was looking for the nuclear trade to start pulling back. And that was after a breakout candle on Monday for NNE. Who was talking about pullbacks in nuclear? Trust me, when I mentioned it, you should have seen the reaction in the chat, team. They were all like, short nuclear? What is this guy doing? Is he something? What is going on? But the truth is that one thing that I noticed is that these stocks like to do like the buy the rumors, sell the news kind of thing, right? And so a lot of times we get things to run before the action and then pull back as it gets closer to the action, right? Like events, very similar. This is an event, the election, right? So you're getting these nuclear stocks to run into that. But the one thing that I think could happen here is if Trump wins, these stocks keep rocking and rolling. If Harris wins, I think the nuclear play actually starts pulling back because there's nothing to say that Harris will support the small nuclear reactors, right? I think that's more of a Trump move right now, but something to think about, right? All right, let's keep going. Already at goal with VREX. There you go. Take that money and run. Day trade with Tony. You know it, man. Day trade with Tony. I told you, man, the door is always open for you. If you want to come on the show, let me know. All right. Plus T sold their money, losing DirecTV. Yeah. That was a good trade there. But remember, they lost money on that deal. They bought it for a lot of money and then sold it for little. Not a smart move, AT&T. That was a horrible move. They thought that the Sunday ticket would just make everybody switch to AT&T. And it did for a little while, like it helped, but it was nothing like they expected it to. All right, let's keep moving, guys. We'll see what else is trading. But yeah, NNE is one that I'll be watching for a little bit of a pullback, maybe potentially SMR also. They're both already pulling back. They could come back. SMR back towards like 14, between 14 and 12s is an area that I'd like. NNE, I could see this coming back to the 9 EMA right now, maybe starting to play a little bit into this resistance. So $20.50, $20 into play. We'll see what happens in these nuclear plays. All right, let's take a look here at growth. And is it going to be a risk on day, or are we going to start to see risk off? Yesterday, I was looking for a Roku short through the 76. I'll be watching for it today. This would be more of like a main account trade because Roku trades fast and the spread sometimes is a little wide. But looking for a 76 takedown through the 76 could get us back to 74. And I feel like Roku's gone a pretty good amount, and now it's starting to kind of come right back down. 1, 2, 3, and right here we did a fourth attempt to break out above that 80. You guys know how I feel about my rule of 3. You fail that. Now you can come back right back to support 74. CTRA. All right, let's take a look at that one. Coterra Energy, oil and gas name. Inverse head and shoulders pattern. I see what you're kind of maybe seeing here. You got the left shoulder, right around the same area. It's a little bit trending here, where I could draw a trend line to that, right? So you can see that this is going to be your head. That's going to be your right shoulder to your left shoulder. The thing about inverse head and shoulders and head and shoulders patterns overall is where to draw the neckline. That's usually the hardest thing. And they literally say that in technical analysis books. Of course, still reading for my CMT, but 25 is going to be a very hard point to get through, right? So I'll be watching to see what happens with this one. I wouldn't react a little bit earlier. I would want to see this get back through 25 first before I see this really starting to make a move up. And this is all have to do with oil overall, right? If oil can't hold on here, then you start to see the collapse. I think what you need to be looking to see is what happens in the Middle East situation and the supply shocks that could happen, of course, with Iran and things like that. And I think that that's going to come into play. But will that come into play before the election? That's one thing to think about. I don't think so, but hey, it's all up to you to make your call, right? We'll see what happens. And get that money, Tony. That's what it's all about, man. And everyone out there, smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's juice things up. It's 9:08. We're almost to 9:30. Let's keep things going. It's Trade the Pool. Let's go. Let's go, team. All right, taking a little smaller things we can talk. I know Save is up a pretty good amount because the merger talks being talked about again. Oh my God, DJT is up. I'm not touching that stock, man. That stock is so hard to trade. I've tried shorting it. I've tried longing it. It's really hard to trade. BIVI. Of course, this stock was up significantly just a couple of days ago to 7. It did make a little spike here in the morning at 7:45 to 476. We'll see if this gets going. But it seems like the penny names are getting a lift, but not continuation moves, as we're getting just the first kind of pop, and then they're coming right back down. A good example, drug, right? Well, you got that first pop, you got a second pop, but after that, we've kind of gone sideways here. Will they take another day where they get a nice little pop? I'll tell you one thing. I'm not shorting drug right now because I still think it could make its way to 60 and then start to fail. But it's been strong as ever. And this is not one that I think you want to get in front of. You want to wait till the MACD, if anything, starts to really expand away from that yellow line. Because if it crosses right back over, it could easily hit that 50, start working its way back to 60. And this is one that you can get run over, right? So you got to be careful with a name like Drug. 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 All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's see what else is out there. Smash the like. Let's see what stocks are on the radar today. And of course, as we get into tomorrow and Friday, we'll be watching the jobs number. Thursday, so important, right? As we get more of unemployment, that can turn the market, right? Well, Tesla tonight will be on watch with certain stocks. We'll see what happens. It's the big day here. We could have a pretty much a red day, and then eventually maybe Tesla's earnings turn things right back up. But I hate when the market does this, guys. It was going up yesterday right into the close, and what does it do all morning long? It just leaks. This is how they stop out the bull traders from yesterday, and they also make the bear traders feel like they missed the move, feel like they need to chase the move. This is how they do it to you. The psychological effects of overnight actions is what I'm seeing more and more play into the market, and you got to be careful there. Because if you come in the morning and you're like, well, market's just tanking, you short right now, and it's a real easy recipe for the stock or the Qs like right here to go right back to 495 and stops you out, right? And so it's very hard. What this is essentially attacking traders on both sides of the trade. Yesterday, the bull traders. Today, in the morning, the bear traders get hit. And the bull traders that were like, oh, yesterday we shook that red side. We're going for the upside break. We're going to 497. We're going to 499. There you have it. Get tamed. And that's how the market will do to you. So if we ever lean on any side right now, right, just be careful. You're leaning on extremely bullish, It's probably going to stuff it to you. You're leaning on extremely bearish. It's probably going to stuff it to you. So we got to be careful and maybe try to take the first momentum moves, right? We're not getting those continuation patterns. We're getting what? Just momentum and then pull back. Momentum and then pull back, but no continuation. Very important. We keep looking for continuation patterns in a no momentum market. That's easy recipe to just keep giving them up some good money. All right, let's take a look there. Q's now making another attempt towards the downside, so it doesn't look good there. VXX probably getting a nice little spike here, 5183s. And where is it? It's pretty much to yesterday's range. And you guys remember, I was at first trying to short the VIX yesterday. It eventually made a couple of spikes to 5250s, which got me out. But this ended up breaking back down to 5086. And just like that, it's all the way back up about 1.6%, 82 cents. So even if you wanted to, let's say, buy the VXX today, what are you? You're behind the trade. You're 82 cents back. And that's very hard to get into now, right? Because essentially the stock's already moved, and now you're looking for a continuation higher, which is very difficult right now. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there? Fun. Pre-market high and failing. I think that's what it says. Let me see here. I'm sorry, I didn't have that as big. Feeling pre-market high, probably failing. But let me take a look here. Fun. How is that one? Funware up there towards $15, man. What the heck happened to this thing? This thing's a known runner, right? You can see here all the spikes that have happened in the past and recently had a little bit of a stock split. That was around the 7, and this continues, right? I think I'll be watching for this to actually do a hard turnaround, but that's the hard part, right? So what I look for in hard turnarounds are, can you break the hourly resistance or hourly low? So the resistance below it is 1267. The support right now is 1365. Of course, resistance to the upside is 1470s. I'd look for fake outs to 15 out the gate and then a breakdown. Right, so you've had 1, 2, and now you can get that third pattern. Maybe it goes to 15 like 60s and then starts to break down. We'll see what happens there in fun. I definitely don't trust this company by any means necessary. But hey, who knows where this one can go? Let's see what happens. Are you guys having fun? Fun? P-H-U-N? Fun? We'll see, man. This is also, I believe it's, man, I remember I've looked into this company. I forgot exactly what it does, but you guys can check that out on Benzinga Pro. Like always, we'll see what happens in energy today. Will we get a bounce, right? All things to think about. Maybe gold steps up again. Gold did pull back yesterday. We'll see what happens. It is pulling back pretty fast right now. What about silver? Did that make the pullback yet? Ooh, there it is. Now it's starting to rounding bottom. Could come back to 7 today. It's at 768. It's not a bad one to maybe take a trade on, right? The fun part about AG is that it's really tight, really tight. And if you trade this, right, the good thing is that it being tight, 1 cent spread, it gives you the ability to maybe do a 10-cent trade. You don't need to be making, 40 cents on this. 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents. Good outlook there for AG. And what do you see all the time in this stock is what? Quick pops out the gate, pull back on the hourly, and then continuation. Pops on the gates, right? Pullbacks, and then continuation. Pops out the gates, pullbacks. So what I'll look for is a pop out the gate and then an actual takedown. So pop back to 780s and then start to flush right back down to the 760s. Wouldn't be a bad look there on AG. Of course, you have to hold off the 8. It recovers 8, and you want no business in this stock, but we'll see what happens there in silver. It's already been a long morning for me, guys. Been up early with the boys, but hey, got to keep things going. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We can find some trades. Keep it moving in the chat. What are you guys taking a look at? All right, having a whole VRAX, fun. Yeah, I mean, how is VRAX doing now? That one was a nice move off the 3. It's up there to 315. Can this one keep moving? See what happens. And whatever happened to the how? I traded this one on just on Monday. I didn't trade this one yesterday. It did make a decent move. It's continuing, just stair-stepping higher. Will this one start to turn back around? Definitely is running into some prior support, acting as resistance around the 460s. Could be back to 3 today. We'll see what happens there. And Werewolf Therapeutics. How? I had to do it, guys. I had to do it. With a ticker name, how? I mean, how could you not? Werewolf Therapeutics. I hope they're not making werewolves for real. All right, what's up out there, traders? It's good to see you guys. Smash the like if you're out there on X. Do me the favor, guys. Hit the like button on this post and retweet it. Retweet it, guys, so that other traders can make their way inside the room. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Oh, a theme stock. Yeah, you know how it is. All right, we'll see what else is out there right now. I'm seeing CNSP. Also up big, guys. Penny name, 34 cents. Got up there to the 45. Has made 1, 2, 3 attempts towards that 45. Let's see if it reloads like maybe 30 cents and then starts working its way back to 50 cents. Not a bad one right now. It's at least getting the move. And the big thing here, look at the volume change. That's what you want to see. If it's going to make the move, it's going to need some decent volume, especially being this cheap. All right, we'll see what else is out there. I'm looking at the RSI to see what other names have been making moves, right? You got this GNPX, right? And this one's an interesting spot. It's in right now off the hourly support, right? Just hanging out here. And now, will it fill the gap? Or will it make the upside move? There's really two options there, right? And I'm not going to act like there isn't. 250s seem to be the support. But if it breaks that 250, it could fill this gap right back here into the spot, into $2. We'll see what happens on GNPX. Not a bad one to keep an eye out for. NVCT, another one that's making a move to the upside. This one looks like it's still breaking out. We'll see if it continues to make the move. 10 seems to be in play with this one. It's at 860 right now. But look at the spread in the pre-market. Who wants to trade a 60-cent spread? Not me. I'll tell you, not me. So I'll leave that one alone. We'll continue to watch a couple of these names, but doesn't look the best right now. All right, looking at the overall market, still holding in there right now. Let me see if there's any news that came in here that I might have missed. I don't think so, but I'm looking around out there. McDonald's, man. Who's been eating some quarter pounders lately? I hope you haven't. I know I stay away from McDonald's, but it seems like some other guys don't. And man, nothing like an E. coli burger, please. Definitely not for me. I'll pass on that. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Oh, and wasn't Trump at like a McDonald's the other day? I hope he didn't eat the quarter pounder. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's see what else is out there. Spirit Airlines, of course, getting the lift today with the merger talk, and that's SAVE. I was watching this. I was thinking, do I take it off to $3? I don't know, man. With the merger talks, this could continue to go. It's not going to be a fast mover, but it could bring some good potential reward. We'll see what happens there in SAVE. The airlines as of late has been hot, but of course, we're starting to run into a little bit of a pullback. I looked at American Airlines looking to see if it would fill this gap, and I looked at it a little while back here. Created this on October 15th, really looking for the continuation last week, and now we're really starting to move. 1342s in play. We'll see if the airlines can get up there. I did see Hilton, though, take a hit today, guys, on their earnings. That one wasn't a great report. Let's take a look there at Hilton. They did trade lower after the company reported mixed Q3 financial results and lowered their fiscal year EPS outlook. So that's something you want to hear. What does that tell me? That they're expecting to slow down. But when will it come? Things to think about, right? These stocks have already been made in a good lift there and could be pulling back today, especially if we have a red day. If we have a red day, watch for these potentially to pull back. Airbnb might actually pull back on this. It has been making a move and climbing back slowly but surely. We'll see what happens now. Will it run into a wall and start coming back towards the 130 today? Something to keep an eye out for. Especially this little gap down back towards 133 seems to make sense. All right, we'll see what happens there in Airbnb. What's going on out there, guys? Chipotle. Get your Chipotle, your E. coli at Chipotle too? Oh, no. Remember, Chipotle had salmonella issues. Yeah, you got to be careful out there, right? The turd trader? Well, hope you don't get flushed, bud. How we doing? Good morning to you, man. Nothing like a good old turd in the chat, but seems like he's not shying away anytime soon. All right, guys, there's 20 trading days in a month. Yeah, a lot of trading days in a month. You don't got to go crazy. Let's make some money. All right, let's see what else is out there. It's good to see you guys. Laugh out loud. I know the turd was going to love that one. It's Loretta. Yeah, Loretta's going to be better than the turd trader. Don't be a turd today, man. Be a rocket, not a turd. All right, guys, ready to go ahead and get to the trading action. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, 822. We've gone through it all here, guys. The playbook, the sunrise report. Man, it was an intense day. Let's just say that. I'm looking around right now to see if there's any news out there that I've missed. I've covered pretty much everything today. So don't get those slivered onions, it seems like. That's also the negative there. Amazon is an interesting one, guys. So Amazon is really interesting. I saw some reports. And this is rumor talk, right? You guys know I like to bring the rumors, right? Well, the rumor out there is Amazon's right now working on what? Working on a marketplace that can compete with Temu. Interesting, right? Amazon seeing that these China e-commerces are stealing their lunch. And Amazon does not like that one bit. So it's trying to find ways to compete with them. The truth is, I don't think there is a way to compete with them because there's a reason why these products even make their way over here to the United States. They're cheap, right? So all these kind of vendors, like let's say even Walmart, right? They bring in a bunch of these China goods because they're super cheap. They price the margins high so that they can make their money, and they distribute them out into the United States, right? Well, the truth is, if you go towards the China e-commerces, you can probably get these without that margin that you're giving up. You might give up a little bit of data on your phone, but we won't get into that conversation. But Amazon trying to compete with these, something to look at. And what is that company? That company's PDD, right? So PDD competing with Amazon, and Amazon competing with all the other ones, right? AliExpress, right? Alibaba. Right, so JD.com, right? We'll see what happens here. Something definitely to keep watch, right? All right, let's keep it going. Just wanted to bring in that conversation because it's always good to catch those types of rumors. And how will that work, right, for Amazon? Something to think about. How is Amazon moving as of late? It's sideways here, not really doing much. Look at the last couple of days. The action's just dying off right here. And that's what I'm looking for. Can we get in a little bit of an expansion of volatility, man? Because the volatility right now is just dropping and dropping and dropping. Look where we were from August. We were moving, 13 points. I talked about this just the other day about would we start to see a spike in volatility? And usually that means a spike on the downside. But you can see it. The volatility just keeps falling off towards the election. And we could see more and more chop. When the volatility is not high, a lot of times we see more of this chop. Volatility being high gives the ability to go and approach upside breakouts, right? And try to get through certain levels. We'll see what happens here. Qs have been kind of just sideways here, trying to break towards 500, but really can't get going. What does that tell me? We could approach this downward trend line, a move back towards 485. All right, guys, getting really close towards the market. Going to continue to watch VXX today. We'll watch for some small cap names to see if they get moving. Like always, you guys can call out those names in the chat. Let me know what stocks are moving. And if you guys see a play out there, feel free to throw it in the chat. Like always, help each other out, right? Maybe say, hey, I see this stock moving through the pre-market high. I'm looking to see if it can continue to run. Things like this can help all traders not just myself, it can help you guys out there and those other traders that are listening in. Let's be a supporting community. Let's try to help each other get to success, and that's what we're here for. All right, let's push, Stream. It's now what? 9:27. We got just about a little bit under 3 minutes here, 250s before we get to the market open here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down, get my charts ready to rock and roll here. I got the Qs above me, VXX, the SPY. Now let's take a look at some of the other ones that we could potentially trade today. Of course, going to be taking a look to see what happens there in Roku. So I'm going to put Roku out here on the right-hand side. And I got some other ones. What do you guys want to keep up with? Let me know. I'm always willing to kind of help you guys keep up with some names. Of course, Qualcomm is going to be facing some hard battles right now with the news that came out with it. So I think at this point, you got to watch Qualcomm. If Qualcomm recovers the complete move and let's say goes back towards 172, be careful, right? This could actually work its way back to 174 before it comes crashing right back down. The news was horrible. Hopefully they're able to battle back that news. And I actually know a lot of people on Qualcomm, actually have spoken to them and have been at their events, right? I've actually been to their automotive event in New York. I've met the CEO. I've met the CFO. I've met the team at Qualcomm. I know they'll be on top of this. They're a really active team. A little part of me is thinking about reaching out to them. But like always, guys, stay tuned. We'll see what happens here in Qualcomm. I think Amon even follows me. So we'll see what happens. Definitely something to watch out for. Hey, Nicole, also on the automotive side, is one that I've talked to. Qualcomm, what happened there with ARM? What will happen? Will ARM climb back on that, or will ARM take a down move on that? You can see how ARM's weaker than essentially Qualcomm on this news. That's interesting. Will Qualcomm maybe come out and be like, hey, we can do this ourselves. We don't need you, ARM. We just used you. Things like that, right? We'll see what happens, guys. NVIDIA pullback in the day. Is that what it says in the diary? Okay. We'll see what happens. Will we get a NVIDIA pullback? It's definitely pulling back already, right? This is the hardest move, guys. I hate when stocks pull back in the pre-market or just go straight up in the pre-market, because that doesn't really help us unless we're trading here in the pre-market and try to catch the momentum, because by the time you get to the open, you've already gone down. You've already leaked towards the support. We'll see what happens. That 493.60 spot that I was talking about yesterday, would we recover? We eventually did recover it, came back and bounced off of that level. For some reason, that 493.50 area just seems to be really pesky for the market. We'll see what happens. SPY making an up rip now. Wouldn't you know it, guys? Leak. Wash out the bulls. Now everyone starts to feel bearish. And now the market says, you know what? Maybe we go bullish today. We'll see what happens. 9:30. It's here, guys. Be careful out there, traders. Stay safe. Market's open. Let's get after it, guys. It's time. Traders, let's go make that money. All right, guys, looking at the market right off the start here, and SPY getting a little bit of a bounce right out the gates. Kind of expected here. Ooh, SRRK giving me an alert. Man, I've been waiting to see this one start to break down. I'm keeping a very close eye on this bad boy. This one could be crashing down back towards 25. A little part of me is thinking about taking a swing trade in SRRK. This has been a really good winner for me already on the swing side of things, and could be breaking down a little bit further. Man, I feel like this is going to come back eventually really big here. So I'm still looking at it here. I'm watching BABA to see what happens, because I still got that right now down towards 99. But man, I want to keep this SRRK on the radar here. Seeing GM pull back out the gates to Qualcomm, getting a little bit of a spike here out the gates. Tesla fake out to the 218. Wouldn't you know it? Q's coming down here, 493.10. So not looking good right now. We'll see what happens in SRRK. I am putting a little bit of an alert off the 2880s But this could be a nice little takedown today on this Scholar Rock Holding Corporation. And that's the fun part of Trade the Pool. Giving me the advantage of maybe shorting a company like this is something I definitely want to watch. Look at the gap below. This could come back down to $7, something I definitely want to be watching. Of course, this would be more of a swing trade idea, but something that I'll be looking at. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's take a look out there at SPY now and look at the BABA move down there. Definitely dragging here. And it's going to be one that I'll have to open up the risk a little bit further as it comes back to the 99. I do want to add it at like 98s, 99s. We'll see what happens in the overall market today. Qs overall now getting a little bit of a bounce. So it's just going to be a little bit of a back and forth here early on. And I don't want to be trading too early. I want to kind of let the market kind of decipher out a little bit here. VRAX up there to the 350s. Can this one keep going, or will it pull back here towards the threes? A little part of me feels like it's going to pull back here, back towards like 250s now as it keeps trying here. Now it's starting to fade off of that 330s. Will it make another attempt towards the 350s here? I'm watching it, but I feel like it's already gone a little bit too much, right? So it's had a couple of attempts there. 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to go to the 350s. Now starting to drop to that 320s. Maybe we get a rejection here towards the 330s or 340s, but already washing on the downside there. VRAX. TVGN, something that I'm looking at. Nice little spike there on that one. That's a nice little spike higher. Save getting whacked on the downside there. So right back down on that one. How pulling back. It just seems like a lot of these are starting to pull back. Snap with an up move here. I will say that. Stat chat. VIX getting already a spike there. It went back down towards the 5160s, already up there to the 5192s. Will we just continue lifting here? Market is dragging. It's starting to go down to the 493s. I think that what's important here is the SPY. The SPY is still holding in there. And what do I see leading? I see defensive. So that tells me Colgate-Palmolive. And look at Colgate-Palmolive already. Red to green action there. Of course, that was part of my playbook this morning. Looking for a 100 move today. Would like to see a little bit of a pullback here, but it could just continue lifting. And this also tells me to take a look at XLP today. We'll see if that can get a little bit of a lift there. It's still on the support off the 8150s. Could make a move there towards the 82s. Not a bad one to watch there. Will Procter & Gamble go back green above the 170s here? Not a bad watch, especially in this space. Clorox is another one you can watch in a very similar in the industry, right? Q's just going back and forth now. Qualcomm trying to hold on here. It did do that pop towards like the kind of yesterday's action, now starting to pull back. So it could have just been a little bit of a fake out to the upside and now starts to decline. I'll be watching it here, especially if the Q's continue red. Deer getting a little bit of a lift. Yesterday caught me out of this, guys, and it went back down towards the 405. Now it's making the move. So I might actually day trade Deer today. If I can see industrials start to really make an up move here, it's not a bad area to watch. Industrials are on the downside right now, so I'm looking to see if this can turn around. Right now, out the gates there, technology starting to bounce back. Real estate and financial services. There's not deep red. There's basic materials in the red, but they're climbing back, and so is industrials. Even energy is climbing back today. So seems pretty bullish out the gates here, even though the market's staying muted here. We'll see if it starts to actually lift. Tesla getting a little push there to the 218s. I don't want to touch that dragon today. It beat me down yesterday. We'll see what happens with it. Fun starting the downside. I talked about how this thing could be a short today. It broke down fast there, guys, and it just rejected the VWAP a couple of times. I really like that outlook. Now that it's rejected it 1, 2, 3 times here, could just keep breaking down. Nice little breakdown if you guys were able to short Fun today. And this seemed like a nice little short, guys. So we'll see what happens on that. See if it comes down a little bit further. VRAX also was looking to see if maybe I short VRAX. So let's take a look at that. There it is, trying to pop back towards the 340s here. I don't think it'll get it, but let's just keep an eye on it. VRAX Thinking about maybe taking the trade on the limited account. This one would be the main account. This would be the limited account, but I'm looking at it right now. All right, guys, want to see a rejection from that 340 area. So I'm letting it try to go up towards that 340s, and then I want to see the fail. Then I can short it really big through this kind of 318, coming back towards 3, and maybe back towards 250s is really what I'm more looking at. That's about 70 cents on the downside here. Let's see what happens. First action already coming in here. So I'm going to go half size here, 500 shares. Still could pop towards the 340s. So that's why I only went half size. I want to add it as it comes back through that level. But letting it a chance here to go to the 340s, that would be about $100 risk here. So definitely taking a little bit of a risk, but taking a shot here. Let's see what happens in VXX. All right, rejects that move to go to the 340s right now. Let's see if it takes out this 320s and really starts on the decline here. There he goes, coming back down here, and it's starting to look a little bit better here. Let's see if it really starts to break this. There it is, guys. There's the break here. Now I'm looking to go ahead and add on this 320s here. Let's see if we can get the add there. Now it's bouncing back here. Let's see what happens there. Definitely declined fast there. So I'm going to give it a chance to come back to the 9 EMA recovery, which is 326, but it was a fast decline there. All right, looking good here now. Back through that 304s. I'll just go ahead and do a smaller add, a 300 add. Looks good there. Looks good for the breakdown through the $3 spot, but just turned off of that spot. So still holding off right now. Tesla starting to push to the upside. Looking at VXX holding in there. Qualcomm going back up. Definitely seeing Roku still stay there. Just trying to recover right now, but can't recover on VRAX. I did see some size there on buys, but wasn't anything crazy. There's 5,000 on the buy there. They still can't get it up there, so it might just flush down back towards the 250s here. Let's see what happens. All right, taking a little shot. I hope I'm not against you guys. I don't want to be against you guys, but hey, just taking a look. Good to see you guys out there. It's watching the overall market action here. Taking a look here. VXX pulling back there. Now the Q's coming right back up. So definitely a little bit of a mixed battle today. Like always, a little bit of some chop. Tesla, though, up to 218. If you want to watch that today, that is getting the move already. Didn't get my ad there towards the... I was even going to take like 1,000 shares there on the first cut down. But hey... looking to see if I can get the ad right back through that 304s. Letting it play out a little bit here to see if it comes to the 9 EMA, but I'm in that 320s. Don't want it back above that 9 EMA. Here it comes for the takedown. I'm going to go for it, guys. Going for it there. Now I got 315s, 800 shares. Let's see if I can get a nice little first action here back towards... let's say 280s. 280s would give me that nice trade here. So let's see if I can get a nice little breakdown back through 3s, and going to be watching to see if I can go ahead and get that. I won't risk much here now. Risk like maybe $26 back towards the 320s. Getting that alert there for SRRK as it starts to come down tells me maybe take a look at that one, but I'm watching this trade right now. So let's see what happens with that. See if we can break down through the 3, hit to the VWAP 297s, and then go back towards like 275s. Wouldn't be a bad outlook there. All right, first action to 3 here, guys. Let's see if we can break 3 here. Now up about $100. Definitely don't want to lose money on this trade now. Now just looking to go ahead and see if I can get the breakdown through 3. This is an important level. It could bounce here off the VWAP and then come right back up, but I'm looking for the next move back towards the support, which is around the 290s, 280 area. Let's see if we can get that. 299 starting to break down back towards the 298s here. Let's see if we can at least get towards the 290s here and start to take more and more gains here. All right, first action starting to bounce back towards the 315 area where I'm in. So I just got to be careful here. Looking for that continuation through the 3 here. But look at that. Just as quickly as I look for it, there's 315 right back here. Let's see what happens. All right, 308 comes back here. Looking for the 304 breakdown back below that. If not, it could bounce right back up here. So see if we get a little further pullback right now. Canceling my profit target right now. Want to see it break back below the 3, but don't want to be showing my hand there or where I want to take profit. All right, guys, approaching the spike back, so I got to be careful here. Just looking for it to break back below the 3s, but if it doesn't do it, I'll get out. We hit 298 on that pullback there. Looking for a little bit lower through the 3. All right, VXX just spiked there, guys. SPY coming down there. VXX, quick spike to 52. So that tells me down action could be coming into the market, but the Qs are actually ticking to the upside, and the SPY is the one that's heading on the downside right now. We'll see if that continues to play out. I'm at least trying to wait to 9:45, 10 a.m. before I really start taking bigger trades. But man, that's already getting affected there. SPY trying to head down here. We'll see if it breaks down. Getting a recovery here. Test on VRAX. It's back towards 315 there. Hit a slight second on my break even. Ready to get out here, but need to see what happens at the 3. Back towards 315, 316 here. Definitely putting the pressure on me right now. No stop set there. I'm just watching it, have the hand pressed on it, but haven't let it go. 311s, 312 rejection there. Now right back up towards the 315. Got to be careful here as it could come back towards the 340s. Looking for that breakdown through the 3s. It hit 297. So we'll see what happens here, guys. What's up out there, traders? Out at 349. Hey. Was feeding the dogs. The dogs go barking, man. Good morning, traders. See what happens today. Q's now coming down there. SPY spiking. It's just conflicting noise, man. Holy moly. The algos out there just trying to chomp people up. Got to be careful out there, team. Got to be careful. Looking to see if this could finally break through and go towards the $3 spot, but not getting it right now, guys. Starting to bounce here, guys. Got to be a little bit careful, but looking for that continuation on the downside here for VRAX. That could make us a good $300 today, and I bounce back in the limited, right? So setting myself up here for that $300 trade. Let's see what happens here. That's what it's all about a lot of the times. All you can do is set yourself up, then let the market do the heavy lifting. There's 307 starting to approach back towards the 3 breakdown. Looking for that 3 breakdown now. Let's see if we can get it here. As that 3 breaks down, I'll look to take profits towards like the 280s and 270s. $305 approaching, 303 approaching here. In a second, I'm going to drop the target profit as we break 3. Let's see if we can break 3. 303s, 302s. Come on, break that 3. Not breaking it right now. I'm dropping the target profit just in case we do get a spike. I don't want it to go over the $300 profit. Now ready to go ahead and take that money. Let's go. Come on. Break that 3. 306, 305 on the bid. Definitely don't want it to come back into like the 310s here. Looking for the cut down through the 3. SPY spiking, and that's crazy here, guys. It's back and forth, right? So now that's going to make the VIX pull back here. The Qs are spiking up there, and so is the SPY. Watch for Tesla. Tesla's looking like it wants to keep going. And Qualcomm started to come back. So it could have just been that spike, and then now you're getting that decline. And if Qualcomm really gets hit hard, that could pull back the Qs. That could ruin the day there and start to go really red. So keeping an eye on that. I'm watching that on the side here, focusing on VRAX because I'm in it. And then, of course, I'll move over to some of the higher quality plays, taking some smaller plays here, and then we'll keep it going. GNPX mentioned in the chat, one to watch there. Steph, what do you see? Breakout, what are you seeing out there? 302s, 303s, VRAX trying to break down here. Will it break through the 3s here? Anything really back here through the 9, the 310s? That's where I got to really be careful, right? So I'm looking for that 3 breakdown here. But if it starts to come back through 311, got to be careful. There's 298s. Now we're getting that break towards the 3. Let's see if we can just get a little move back towards 275. I don't need a crazy move here. 290s already coming in here. Profit target is right off of that low there. Now I'm going towards it a little bit more. Let's see if we can get it there. 290s. I'm watching it, guys. I definitely want to take some profits on this, but let's see if we can get it there. Looking for a little bit more here, a little takedown. Let's go. Let's get it. Can we get the 300? 285s. I'm trying here, guys. Let's see what happens at the 288s. Come on. One more tick down there. Trying to take that money and run here, guys. Let's go. Doesn't want to get through that 85s here right quick. I'm looking for a quick move to 75 to just take the money and run. I got 78s out there right now. I could also take 290s, and that's going to be 200. So I'm just keeping that in mind. I'm trying to get it down there into the 70s, but if it doesn't go there, I might just take it off at 290s and take 200. All right, coming back for that 290s here. All right, recovery could be wicked, so I just dropped it there at 292s on the stop loss. So 182 or 294 is what I'm going to make here. Let's see what happens. Going to hit me right now, guys, at the 290s. I brought it up to 166. I'm willing to give it a second here to see if it just does at least one move to the downside. If it starts bouncing back to 3, I want out anyways. So I put 166 here. Might hit me on the 166, but I'm looking for that kind of 3 push here. All right, here's that push to 280s. I'm putting out the order at 277s here. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Get it down there. Let's go, VRAX. All right, guys, not wanting to break down here. So really looking at it right now. All right, guys, about to get out. 291s. I'm out. I'll take the money there, guys. 186, guys, was looking for the 300. Was really close to it, right? But I'm not going to let VRAX come back through 3. Then it spikes back through my entry, and then I'm just playing with it for no reason. Q's coming down fast there, guys. Fast down action. That's going to be VXX play. That's going to be VIXY play. So that's what I'm looking at right now. VIXY play for the main account here. Could be a fake out, so I'm watching it right now to see what happens here on the different action. Qualcomm definitely weak there, but at least made money on the limited account here. We'll watch to see what happens. The Qualcomm pretty weak there. Looking at Apple, that's rejecting 235s. The Qs getting a little bit weak there, trying to break the 493s. But of course, how has this been in the past? Every single time we get to the range break on both sides, we get wicks. So I need to see those wicks actually close below or above that. So 494.25, 493 for the Qs. Will we get more chop? Seems like it right now. So just be careful out there, guys. VRAX though, nice little move there. Got an alert here somewhere. Got to take a look to see what this guy gave me that alert. Roku giving me that alert for the short side move. Let's go take a look at that. There's the move on Roku. Gonna watch to see if I can catch up to this, but nice little breakdown. Did go up there to the 77s almost today. Looking for a VWAP fade. So come back to 76.50s and I'll short you. I'll short you good, Roku. Come back to me. 76.50s. All right, daily has this coming back to 74s. That's $2 down. So just trying to keep that in mind, how many shares I really need to get. Looking for about 200 shares around 76.50s to 76.66 here to short Roku. Looking at the Qs here to see if they're going to completely drop or they're going to just come back and forth. SPY is coming back and forth there. VRAX back at 3. Not bad on the first money game here today, guys. So at least making some cash. So let it rain, guys. Let it rain. Of course, this is in the limited account that you could be going at right now, guys. So take a look at that. Roku might not get back there to the 76.50s. So I might have to chase it, but that's not my game, guys. I don't like shorting off the breakdown, but this is what happened. A breakdown of support, and now it's using it as resistance. The 76.30s could break down from there, right? And that's how Roku is a lot of the times. I could use this 38 and 40s to kind of risk off of, but it's very hard. It is looking like a short, so at least not a bad trade there. How's Colgate Palmolive on the upside? Ooh, it pulled back to the 99.30s here. Looking interesting for me. It's going to be more of a matter of the market's going to come down today or it's not. But the SPY is back and forth here, guys. I think I'm watching the VXX also on that quick pullback to see what happens here. Gives me opportunities if this comes all the way back up towards the range. There's a good risk to return. So that's what I'm watching right now on this trade. Now the market's coming back up. So I'm going to want to see if it rejects, but definitely it's a nice little setup here. Will this recover and go right back to the upside, or will we just get a collapse? I think those are all things to think about here. 15-minute chart is holding the resistance prior and as a support around the 5180s. Breakdown through the 5175s could be that cut down that I wouldn't want to be in there. So I'm just watching it here to see if the Qs are just going to make a quick downside move here now. SPY is still pretty weak, so I look for the downside right now, an expansion here. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys, I want to go ahead and get a starter here in the VXX here. I'm going to go ahead and go long here off the 86 there. Just got the first little piece there on the 86 for the VXX. Got to keep it tight in the VXX. VXX moves fast. The VIXI moves a little slower. So if you guys want a volatility name that moves a little slower, that's the one to watch. So now I'm just watching the Qs to see if we get back above the 493.60s or do we wash down below the 493s. So that's going to be the sign to add, right? I don't want to be adding too much early. Just want to stay within this 500 shares, risk small, and then step up to the plate. SPY holding in right now, and I'm looking at the sectors overall. I see defensives up, technology still up there, financial services in the green. What's red? Oh, industrials are red, but they're not as red, right? They're coming back. So that's one thing to think about. Basic materials is also coming back. A lot of things are on the top end of the range. Let's see if they really get some downside action there through that. Technology is the one that we need to see what happens there. I think that's something definitely that I'm watching here. Qualcomm is still pretty weak there. Apple is up at the top to 235. Could lead, right? Of course, could lead the move and could go right back through the high, going towards a new high right now. So that's one that I'd watch. NVIDIA is another one, right? Will this decline today? NVIDIA is on the wash right now. So that tells me more and more. I'll take a shot there on the VXX. All right, it's coming back down here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and take an ad and then just hold off on like $100 risk. There's the cues to the upside, right? So we're going to put pressure on that VIX. Now I'm going to look for a quick sweep back down in a second here. If it goes back through like 494s, that's concerned. SPY 581.70, that's the upside move. There's a little bit of a fake out. Now I'm going to go for it, guys. Just stepped up to the plate, 1,000 shares. If it comes towards 52, I'm going to take another 500 shares. And I want to start doing these as stop limits a little bit more. So 52, then looking also for pullbacks to kind of give me those fills. All right, guys, just grab that. I got 87, 1,000 shares. Got to be smart here and just continue to watch it. Definitely back through the 75s will get me out. That's going to be about $130 of risk right now. So here's that pressure. Going to be watching the cues to see what happens here, to see if it goes back through the 494s or back below the 493.60s. Big spot to watch here. SPY is still in that same kind of shake. I feel like we're going to get something that plays out here. Of course, you guys can wait here and then just kind of wait till the action really happens. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of it here. But like always, guys, you got to be safe. Be safe out there. Roku heading down through that 76. So I actually really like the way that Roku made the move there, but we'll see what happens. Didn't get it because it didn't bounce, right? I would have had to have been watching it and maybe short it on the resistance touch. Getting a big risk attempt right now as the cues come up towards the test. I should have already been getting hit out, but the spread widened out on me there, guys. And that's what happened there. The spread is wide now. It's 5 cents when it was just 2 cents, 1 cent. So when the spread widens out there, it can easily get you. If I had to stop out there, I would have got hit. Starting to come back there. There's the cue starting to come down here. So it looks pretty decent now. It just really needs to kind of just drop fast. So is the SPY. That's what I'll be watching for. Let me go ahead and show you guys that right now. So looking at the SPY to see if we get that quick drop through that 581. Looking for the cues to see if they drop through that 493. Back above 494s, you're going to have that strong move. And you can take a look at strong moves like Apple to see if you get continued upside. Microsoft is coming back here. Google could make a move to 167 today. I'm still watching for Google above 170. It still hasn't made that run. That could wait till the elections maybe, but just things that I'm thinking about. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the action with me today. Trying to keep going back and forth here, guys. What's up out there, guys? What's up? What are you taking a look at? Hi, dude. I was watching. Oh, man, I have no idea here. Hold on. Let me put this a little bit bigger. Hi, dude. I was watching the Fivers to get a 20,000 account free. I subscribed to you. Hey, why not? Why not? Let's take a look here. What else is being talked about? What is this all about lesson from November 4th? Well, it could be the how to trade the elections, right? You have a headache from you. What? Can you not handle the trading action? I know the stocks move faster than those futures. The futures sometimes is a little slow. 2 cents on TVGN. That's not going to help much. All right, guys, starting to see that start to rise back here. Starting to see the cues make the move here. To the downside she goes. Let's go. SPY coming down there. Looking pretty decent now. Want to maybe take the step up here, but I'm waiting for the break through the 581. I don't want to see a recovery here, and then I sized up and really get wiped out. So Just watching for the action here to see when I actually start to get triggered. All right, guys, starting to get that action to start really breaking here. Let's see if the SPY and the Qs really want to break. All right, there's the first wick. There's a wick test there. That's why I'm not adding just yet here. It was a wick through the lows. Let's see if it actually closes through the low. You see how it's a wick right now. Wicks are tricks, and tricks are for kids, guys. Don't get it twisted. Apple double top. Could happen there. I did see it. Back and forth, guys. Look at the wicks, man. Look at the wicks. Wick action on the SPY. Wicked. Haha. Pun intended. That's why these wicks, they're wicked, man. Savage, savage. Now moving right back down, and there's the Qs trying to make the move to the downside, and then they just catch right there, right on the bottom, right? So we keep chopping around, man. The chop. A little part of me is thinking about starting to trade just the range because we're not getting any type of continuation moves right now. That's where it gets really tough, right? When you're just stuck in a sideways rectangle, you either have to trade the rectangle or you're going to get washed out a lot. And so what do you got to do? You got to stay small. You got to be waiting. You can wait for the real breakdown. You need to see like a 15-minute candle really close below these levels or above these levels. And look at the trick, right? In the pre-market, this was just down, 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 down. Now, what are we doing? Sideways action. This is the algos trying to stop us out early and then eventually make a move. This is why sometimes traders, especially day traders, are going to get washed out the open, and then the move happens in the afternoon, like yesterday. So that's what we're seeing right now. Let's see what happens and what continues to happen here. It's back and forth, man. Back and forth. Wiki, 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 man. All right, there's an action on the Qs to the downside. Now let's see if the SPY follows also. Qs are making the down move. That means Qualcomm could maybe fade off. Let's see what happens in Qualcomm. Look at the SPY bouncing. Qualcomm going towards 169. That looks like a fade off 169 for me, but we'll see what happens there. If Qualcomm is back at 172, that's where I'd be a little bit more concerned that the Qs are coming on back, because that's an ugly story there in Qualcomm. And then, of course, you can take a look at ARM to see if ARM's coming back. That was a fade off the VWAP there. VRAX finally made that down move, guys. It just went back to 311s, 315s, and now it's making that real expansion move down. VXX now starting to take off in a second here, guys. I'm going to be 1,500 shares deep. So, hey, that's going to be big, guys. Just got to be watching it here. There's the spike through. Now I'm going to be watching to see if I can get my orders through. Nothing happened there, man. What the hell happened? Oh, my limit's out there. I just didn't get the fill on that pullback. Looking to get that fill there as we're starting to expand higher, but no pullback fill just yet. Let's see if I can get some type of pullback here. No fill on that stop limit I had out there. Qs are starting to do it, but there's the wick here. Now let's see if it comes back a little bit here. There it is. There it is. There's the comeback a little bit here. That's going to give you the opportunity to fill at a cheaper rate here. Nice action on that continuation back towards the 52s. Now could really break for another leg there. Now she's going for it. I went for it there. Now I'm up 200 here, guys. Looking for the expansion above the highs, 52.10s. And I'm going to already be break even here in a second. That's a first action move there, and good action on that. So let's see if we can get ourselves a nice 700, 800, maybe $1,000 trade today, guys. So I'm going to put it up towards above the $1,000 right now, but just watching for it. Now we're going to trail it with a stop loss as this continues to work. Won't let myself lose on this trade now as it starts to pull back. And you guys know how it is. It's going to test me. That's for sure. Got to understand where my risk is on the downside. I'm going to be risking right now. It's 100. I want to do break even, but I'm within the range. I need to be without 20 cents of the range, and then I can go back to break even. So if it gets to 52.17, 52.20s, that's at that point I can be break even. Let's see what happens here. Will it just continue to run? Don't even want to pull back to VWAP. I just want it to take off here. Nice action. Nice action here. SPY right on the lows here. Now can we break through that? At this point, definitely want to go ahead and at least make $100, right? So I'm going to put the stop at $100 in a second here. There's a nice little break to the upside. That's a quick sweep on there. Now we're rocking and rolling here. Let's see if we can really make an expansion here. Go to like 52.60s on the first expansion. I'll take 900 there. So I'm just trying to trail it now on the action. Can move up towards like $200. Now I'm at $200 on 52.30s. Now that's moving up there. I'm up about 560s here. Really trying to get about 900 to 1,000 on this, but want to move up and trail it. 20 cents. That's where I need to be. 20 cents away from the action. I'm at 52.10s on pullbacks. 229 right now. Can cancel and kind of move in and out of it, right? Don't want to be showing my hand too much, but really understanding where I can take profits, right? Really looking for that expansion higher. Looking great right now, guys. Just trying to ride it out there. The Q's dumping on me, the SPY dumping. That's all great news for me. Just trying to keep riding it up now and see how far it's going to dump. It could just keep dumping there. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get to the 540s. Then I can move to the 520s. That's going to be 380s on the profit here if it can get up there. Let's see what happens. The Qs are starting to bounce a little bit there. More weakness coming in right now. Let's see that approach here. The 40s are going to come into play in just a second. Let's see if we can get up there. Qs starting to bounce there. There's a little bit of expansion here. We could pull back to the 52.05 really quickly here, so just keep that in mind. There's that pullback there. Q's coming back a little bit. Man, the chop. That was a pretty good wipeout. So I'm looking for that continuation now. Got to understand what's the minimum I'm willing to take here. The minimum I got to take is at least $100, right? But watching for it and really want to take about 200 at least here. But watching to see what happens on the 9 EMA rejections. So the SPY rejected the 9 EMA. Let's see what happens on the Qs. The Qs are approaching it right now. All right, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the action. Smashing the like and giving me some love, guys. All right, time to close the desk par. Hey, wish you the best of luck, my friend. We'll see if we get some continued downside action. Tesla washed out there too. The Qs looking like they're pretty weak here. Let's see if we can get this to keep riding up higher now. Back through the 52.40s is what I'm looking for. Just want to see the momentum continue to run here. Pullbacks can easily go to 52.10, which is a 9 EMA. You can see it on my screen. That light blue line. Q's rejecting the light blue line right now. The SPY is approaching it right now. So looking at the 580.80 on the SPY right now to see if it can reject there and then come right back towards 580.30s. And I talked about how 580s was an important level for the SPY, and it approached 580.20. So it's coming back. Qs are coming to try to reject the Qs, reject the 9 EMA. It just rejected it. So did the SPY. That's good signs for me. Let's see if this can really start to take off here. Taking off the target profit just to like not show my hand here. See what happens. Can this get right back above the 52.40s? Once it gets to the 52.40s, I can move my stop to 52.20s. 52.30s. Let's go. Let's go for it. Nice approach here. Let's see if we can get the action to really continue through. It's not holding. It's approaching the pullback level. Q's just went above the 9 EMA, but I'm going to give it a chance here. Don't want it back through the 52.16s, and right there, it just went towards that test there. SPY needs a reject now. Watching the action now to see if the candles can go back to red on the 1 minutes. They're green right now. Can they go back to red? Staying with the action today. And this is how it is, guys. So especially when I take these types of trades, right? They're big sized, right? And so it's hard to kind of determine when to take the profits, right? Of course, I'm trying to expand my winnings towards more like 1,000, especially if I'm going to be losing, like, let's say close to 500 on really bad positions. Like when it goes bad for me, yeah, it's going to be like a $500 loss. So I have to understand that and know where I'm going to be taking gains, right? It's so important. Q's coming back there, trying to make the push now. But definitely pulling back on me pretty fast here, guys. Back towards 52.05. Don't want to see 52 break here. Got to set the break even right now. $5, 51.95. If for somehow I get cut out here, I'll just look to get back in. But looking for that expansion. I see the Qs go back to red there. I'm going to give it a chance there. I'm just looking to see if it can hold 52 here. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely trying to hang out here and seeing if it can make the move. The big move. All right, here's that opportunity to recover that 9 EMA on the VXX. Let's see if it can recover it. VWAP is 95s, 94s. Could come right back to that level and cut me out. I'm right there, but I'm not going to risk below the VWAP. I'm going to stay right there and look to see if this expands. So SPY needs to come down there, and so does the Qs. Let's see the SPY. Let's watch the SPY action on that. So you see how the 9 EMA is like kind of rejecting right now? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for it to get back to 581. I'm looking for it to hit back towards this 580.25. If it can do that, yes, we're golden and we got that $1,000. Let's see if we can get it here today, guys. And this is what I'm going to continue to try to do. Sometimes it's going to end up in my favor. Sometimes it's not, right? Will the SPY still reach 600 this year? Good question, FJF. Not a bad question to think about, right? I think we could still reach it, right? Look at the right now. I'm watching it right now. Qs are fighting that 9 also, right? So this is what I'm looking at, right? Will we go back below the 9, or do we approach the 493s? We're back at VWAP, and yeah, it's just going to stop me out here and kind of take my money, and then I'll look to get back in. That's one thing I need to be ready to do just in case it hits me really quickly, and then we get out and we get back in. That's what I'll be looking to do. All right, Qs kind of rejecting there. So is the SPY. SPY just went red there. Let's see if the Qs go red. SPY's heading to the downside. I need the Qs to go red here. Just canceled my stop just to like not show my hand when it's right there. But watching the action, the Qs just popped up, so I'm dropping the stop. I have to protect here. I'm at the big size. Big size means protection. When I'm smaller, yeah, I can do some risk. But when I'm big, I want to keep it tight. All right, smash the like if you guys are enjoying the action and the breakdown that I do every single day right here, guys. And you guys can do that by just hitting the like button, supporting me. Qs starting to go red on the red candle. SPY leading the down. Let's see if it can lead the down a little bit further and take another leg down here. There we go, back towards 52.10s there. Let's see if we can get this rocking and rolling here. SPY trying to head down there. Just made a little attempt there, but didn't really break. Watching it there. Watching the SPY mainly. There's some good hard attempt to the downside there. All right, guys, back towards 52.16s, and the VIX just kind of did a little bit of a jump there. I'm looking to see if we can get that breakdown now in the Qs. The Qs is what I'm watching right now, if that 492.50s. Let's see if we can get right below that, back towards 493s, and just got to run. But let's see what happens here. Like, can we get the move right back down and just continuation on the downside? All right, now just holding the stop loss and trailing. SPY went red, Qs went red. Let's see if we can get a move towards support. $52.15s, $52.16s. Let's go, let's go. What you got for me, SPY? All right, if it comes back, it could go to VWAP. So that's one thing to think about. Back up above. I just want to maybe take the money and reassess and take another trade. So here's like the breakout, or it just fails for me, right? And so that's the idea here. All right, starting to fail a little bit with the Qs coming back to the 9. So in a second here, I'm going to drop the stop to at least make $100, right? At least something, right? There's the SPY approaching the break. Let's go. Let's go, SPY. Lead the break to 580s. Lead that breakdown. VRAX is hanging out at the 270s. SPY not making that move there. It's actually recovering a little bit, so just be careful out there, guys. It's back and forth right now, as it did do a momentum move, and it's trying to catch that momentum again to the downside, but we'll see if it gets it back up towards the VWAPs, and you got to be very careful for recoveries. There's a hard attempt to the upside here, so that's a good attempt there. Let's see. That's an attempt on the VIX to the upside. So that's good for the downside move here. Let's see what happens. 517 approaching here. SPY approaching like it wants to break down here. Let's see what happens. We're giving it a shot. That's all you can do sometimes. There's the SPY. 580.50s. Let's see if they take the 580.50s. Let's go. 580.49. Now just expansion towards 580.30s, and then we'll really get the rocket up. All right, looking good here, guys. Let's see if we can get this to really kind of make a nice little approach towards like 52.60s, 52.80s. All right, throwing up the target profit above towards like 52.80s right now, just to see if I get an expansion move where the SPY goes quickly and then I get a quick little sell at 52.80s. I will take that, guys. Now grinding up higher, but definitely want to go ahead and secure some winnings now because the Qs should break. That's the next one that I'm looking at. The SPY's right off the low. So need to watch the Qs now. The Qs will give me a sign. If the Qs go back to green, that's a quick sign to go ahead and cover, at least for me, right? You guys determine what you guys want to do, but I'm watching the Qs right now. The Qs are the ones that need to go back to the low. The SPY's right there for the breakdown. Now we got this great opportunity, right? This is what I talk about in trading. Sometimes it's all about setting yourself up for the great opportunity, not the trade that you're going to make, right? Just the opportunity. Let's see what happens, right? Now it's all about, does it continue? There's an attempt towards 52.30s there. That's good action there. Does the SPY break the low or does it bounce? SPY's bouncing off the lows and so is the Qs. Be careful about that. SPY bouncing here. Got to be careful. Definitely going to do a little bit of a hard pullback if this happens. Qs are the ones that bounced off the 492s also. All right, getting this approach back down. Got to be careful, guys. Going to probably just take some money and run here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set a stop here at 184. This is what I mean by setting the stop and having an approach to try to get some more, right? So you guys can see it right here. It's starting to pull back, but the Qs could come back on me. Now the SPY is bouncing. And so with that mentioned, got to be careful, right? So now I'm setting up the profit take, because if the Qs go back to the VWAP, I'll just take the 184. And then I'll try to re-enter here back towards like my entry, which could be VWAP test on the VXX. So if this comes back, you got to be careful, right? If this was down at the low, I wouldn't be setting that stop there, right? But it's at the top end of the range. Got to always be careful, making sure that we're at least setting ourselves up for success, but always trying to make some money. Approaching right back towards the highs, towards that 52.20s, back through 52.40s, and I can move the stop to 52.20s and just start trailing. Now we're back towards 52.20s. I don't want to show my hand as we approach the breakout. Can we get this breakdown here, guys? This is going to be very important. Now 52.10 seems to be the spot to take the money if it comes back on me, but here comes the SPY for the breakdown. Let's go, SPY. Breakdown, baby. Flush that SPY. Somebody flush the market. Somebody just flush overall. Where's the third trader? I need the third trader out there. Where you at, man? Where you at, third trader? All right, guys, still a little bounce there off the lows. The SPY is trying to break the low, but can't break it right now. 50, 80, 20. That's a big spot. Q's now approaching the low. That's good look. Can the Q's lead or something? That's what I'm watching for. The Qualcomm is a very important stock to watch right now. It's trying to recover, even though the Q's are down. That's something that's interesting for me. SPY bouncing there, not a good sign there, but the Q's still red. I don't want to see that candle go green candle. It could approach and then spike back. There's this approach there for the Qs, the 492.50s now, looking for that to hold 492.50s, not back above that 492.50s. There's that approach there, and it rejects it. It went to 52 and rejected it. Really quick rejection there. Good levels to watch. Now Qs approach the 492.10s, and then we're going to be looking really good as the SPYs through maybe the low of the 580.20, and the Qs go towards that 492. Watching the action here, guys. Smash it up. The turd is here. Yes, the turd is here. Oh, it's good to see you guys. I always have fun with the names, man. Keep coming up with those cool names, guys. It's always fun. I'll tell you that much. All right, guys, here's 525, 52.30s. Can we get back through that level? 527s, Q's approaching the low. We're looking gravy here. VXX, let's go. Let's go. Take off. Take off. All right, 527 up there now. Really looking for the Q's to break through the low. The SPY is the signal here. It's on the low. It just needs to break. Just needs one candle down towards the 580s, and I think we're golden here towards a break towards 5280s, 5240s, 5260s. Q's wicking towards the 492.10s there. SPY still holding in. It doesn't want to break down right now, and so that's what I'm watching for. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to break down. At this point, got to get ready for the either breakdown or breakout here. So letting the stop at 52.10s hit there. I have it out right now, securing some profit, and now we'll let this continue to work. And you guys can see it right here. I always keep it real with you guys. Let's see what happens here. Look at the action. Look at where I'm at. 52.80s on the target profit. Profit, no matter what, is 229 now. Setting up for the breakout move. But if the SPY doesn't want to do it, guess what? Well, I'll just kind of just keep it riding up. Right there, you're going to take the money and run if the SPY doesn't want to break down here. The SPY is right off of that. Let's see if it breaks that 580 and goes lower. Hope you guys enjoy the action of me bringing this up and bringing it like this, right? I always try to give you guys the actual, right, like the true information, right? And I feel like that's where a lot of traders kind of lie to you guys. They won't show you that they got a stop loss here. They won't show you this. They're not giving you that information. They're just telling you where they're getting in and out and making money, right? Why? Because they don't want to get hunted by traders, and that can happen. Here's that attempt to stop me out at the 52.10s here, and it could make another move here. So I'm going to lower it down. Ooh, it's right off of that, guys, right off of that. Could stop me out any moment here. 52.10s pulling back there. 52.14s. I'm going to give myself another couple pennies. I put it to 52.08 to try to give me a couple pennies here for the SPY breakdown. It's going for the SPY breakdown. Can it get it? Can it get it, guys? Just gave myself one more penny, 184, guys, 184. So just giving myself the 507s here to see if the SPY could break down. If not, hey. If not, it's a reversal, right? And so I don't want to get caught here, but it is trying. Boom, just got me, guys. Just got me. And the SPY is right off of that, but it made the attempt to 580s. 580s 11, and then came back up. Not what I wanted to see. Could still come right back down, but there's the VXX pulling back on me, and that's what I was trying to avoid, right? So just took the money and ran. I could reload in this thing right now. It's all depending on the SPY. And look how the SPY spikes there. We'll look to see if it spikes right back down. This could be a fake out, and then it comes right back up. I'm going to risk this 150 in a second here. I'm just watching the action and looking to see if the SPY rejects the 490. For the SPY, it's going to be rejection of 581. So back through 581, and I definitely don't even think about this. But the Qs, it's a big level. It's 492.90. It's 493. Like nice whole dollar above it. Recovers that, you get the bullish move there. Looking to see if the Qs just make an up move here and then all of a sudden spike right back down. So you see how the VIX came back towards the 90s. It would have cut me, right? So trying to keep working that, right? And there's no 100% way of doing this. And I hope you guys enjoy me like kind of giving you guys the insight on the stop, even the stop moves, right? Like how I'm playing with it in my mind. Maybe it should have made 200 there, right? There's battles there, right? But the thing is the spread started opening up and the SPY was right on the low. So I gave myself a tick or two lower. This is a working progress. And I hope you guys enjoy me giving you guys the like kind of the look inside of my journey. There's the SPY coming back towards the 581s, the Qs trying to reject the 493s, and the VIX trying to reverse off the lows, right? So this is what I was trying to avoid, and also looking to see if it rejects now on the SPY. Back through that 493 or back through the 581, and you're just back in chop land, and you can come right back up. Qualcomm. Good sign here that is for the bulls is that this is starting to hold the VWAP, even though this is a very bearish news on Qualcomm today. So now you've had what? Up one, right? Down one, up two, down two, up three. You're on the breakout attempt here for Qualcomm. A move back down below 169 could be a washout on Qualcomm. So we'll keep that in mind, right? This could still be a wash to the downside, and then you get the move. Of course, on the limited account, made some money there, so we can go back and try to make another trade. Look at Roku, guys. Roku for the win on the playbook. Should have shorted that on the 9 EMA. It was a really good outlook off the 76.30s for a move down towards the 74s. Went to 74.50s on the first action. Down goes Roku. And for the win in the playbook. Of course, this morning's playbook, not a bad one. It was all about 3 names, right? I'll give you guys the insight again if you missed it. Baba. It was Colgate-Palmolive, Palantir, Roku to the short side, right? Those are names that I'll be watching. It was the move yesterday. We got a Harmy. Today, it went right through it. So, hey, like butter, guys. We'll see what happens out there. Nice little move there on Roku. And the big part of this is just the kind of turnaround, right? Right now, do I want to have a risk name like Roku? And is Roku really kind of kicking, like doing really great? No, they're not. They're not. Let's just be honest. We'll see if this one can keep going to 74 today. Q's going right back up. So that tells me no, don't touch the VIX. right now. So you see how that was chopped to the upside. If we would have continued, yes, I get a big win, right? Back towards this 52.60s is what I was looking at. And that would approach the highs there, and then we could continue. Now we could still reload down here in the 80s and still make the move. That's why I'm watching it. So if I wanted to, I could also trade the VXX, right? The VXX is a way to trade it on the limited account, which is a smaller name. You can see in this one, it only went up there 10 cents, right? But it's also smaller risk. SPY will reject here. And that's what I'm looking at. Will we reject? Financial services are ones that I can also look for shorts. I've talked about Wells Fargo as a short opportunity. And look at Wells Fargo right now. That looks juicy to me, guys. I'm going to be watching for this. Wells Fargo. Will this break going towards a 64.75 is going to be more dependent on the overall market, but I like the trade. I like the trade. All right, let's see if I can get this in the limited account, and I'm going to go back to the VXX in the other account. All right, guys, just took 200 shares there of Wells Fargo. I do want to maybe add potentially for a 64.80 or 64.70 breakdown. I'll add that if it breaks down there, but definitely want to go ahead and just set my risk here, set the way the trade I think is going to work, and then go move back towards the focus, which is the main account. So you guys see it right there. You guys see the account. You guys see the trades. I keep it simple, guys. And I show you guys everything. All right, 96 right now will be that kind of out right now. That's only about $30 of risk right now. I'm actually going to add 200 if it breaks the 64.20s. Ooh, I don't even have 200. Haha. It's always funny when I don't have the money. I need more buying power. Michael, send me more money right now. Trade the pool. I need more money. I might need to get that ultimate account. All right, let's take a look here. Q's now starting to reject. SPY starting to reject. So VXX, now is maybe the time. I'm going to take my shot here, guys. All right, just looking to see if the SPY can reject for the fourth time here. So is the Q's. It's up 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth attempt to get back through that 493 and really hold towards 493.50s. And then the SPY is the 581 move. Do we reject it here? That's what I'm looking for. Hands on the trigger, I left it off. So there's a little bit of a teaching moment, right? You can hold the trigger and then just click off of it, right? That's what I essentially did there. Now I'm watching the Qs. I'm seeing that up attempt. It's trying to break through, back through that 493.60 that I've talked about all week. It's been an important level on the upside. Looking to see if you reject that now. Now the SPY is above 581, so hands off on the VIX. Hands off, right? Not going to put the risk out there if the market doesn't kind of like go with the trade, right? That doesn't make any sense. GM on the pullback. So is Tesla back towards 216. VRAX went down to 262. What happened to those smaller names? TVGN. That's actually done pretty decent. Not too bad. It's moved a little bit. Save has pulled back to the 293s. BIVI up at 415s. Made a little bit of a spike there to 440s. We'll see what happens on that one. Upwork doing really well today. Actually a pretty decent move there. Fun was the short, man. All right, there's the VIX going a little lower there too. Can start to take a look to see if there's any names in the green here and going towards the up move. Deere looks good today, guys. The industrials are not looking too bad. They were red. Now starting to come back. Is GE coming back? GE took a beating yesterday. Yeah, good day for GE. Lockheed Martin, not the best. RTX. RTX actually doing not bad there. That's actually not doing too bad. How's the XLI overall? Right off the VWAP right now. We'll see what happens on this one. Just keeping an eye on the stocks overall. What's moving in the last hour? Last hour, defensive, healthcare, financial services. So financial services definitely getting a little bit of a bounce there. We'll see what happens in Wed-Fri low. So I'm taking a little bit of a short on that bad boy. There's the SPY now rejecting here off the 581.20s, but it's still climbing. It's starting to climb back. So we'll see what happens if we go into a bullish sense here. Wed-Fri low trying to make the move back towards the upside. Now approaching downward break. We'll see if it just starts to break down. I mean, I have the trade on at least. This is all about a daily pattern, because if this can go red candle back through 64s, I think it's a nice takedown. So we'll see what happens there in Wed-Fri low. And yes, I called it Wed-Fri low, not Wells Fargo. All right, what's going on out there, traders? How we doing? TVGN. All right. Target profit. What you got there? I'm done. Got my targets. Have a good one. Stay disciplined and don't over trade. Money, money, money. Love to hear it. Hey, get after it, team. It's a good job, team. You guys are doing great. I love it, man. Love to see the chat doing well. I honestly, it makes me feel good. Even on days where I'm doing bad, you guys kicking ass makes me feel good. All right, be safe, guys. No dumps. The turd. All right, guys, looking around to see what's going to happen now. The SPY coming right back. So let's go ahead. Let's go back looking at the VXX. The VXX is trying to bottom out here, but it's going to need a little bit more, right? Let's take a look at like the 5 minute. Let's take a look at the pattern, see if it wants to start coming back. Really needs to recover the 580s first for me to even take a look at this. So I'm watching that to see if it can recover back through the 580s. The 5180s, sorry. I don't know why I said 580s. 5180s. Q's rejecting now, going into a little bit of a 90 EMA test on the downside. And like we talked about the 90 EMA recovery on the upside. Now we're getting a downside attempt for the upside momentum. Same thing for the SPY. So I'll show you that. I'll show you what I mean there. So on the Q's, you can see here how the light blue line, it starts to play in as now support versus the resistance. Prior, it was playing our resistance. Now it's trying to play like support, right? So what happens there is important. Qualcomm is one that I'll watch if the market also goes red here, because you can see how it's up here and tried to make its way towards 170, but failed and failed and failed. If it comes right back down, this is going to be looking juicy for a short. And the move could be to 168, right? So that's like what, $1.60? Not too bad at all. That Qualcomm news wasn't the best. We'll see what happens in ARM also to see if maybe there's another trade there. All right, let me look around to see if there's any news on why we're getting so much downside action here. I'm looking around to see if there's maybe some Fed talk or some kind of conversations. Of course, Treasury yields continue to rise. That could be playing into things. It seems like the Treasury, or at least people are paying attention more towards that right now. Existing home sales tumble to the lowest since 2014. That's not good there, of course, but it's nothing crazy. I think it's just something to take a look at. The median sales price might have something to do with it. $416,000 for a house. Guys, that used to be like close to like a really big house, or at least a house in a really nice area, right? $400,000. Now, that's just the median. That's crazy. Qualcomm trying to climb the wall of worry here and get back up. Former Fed official. Who cares about a former Fed official? Why even talk to her? I'm sorry, guys, but sometimes CNBC doesn't know what the hell to do. I'll show you guys it. Who cares what a former Fed official is doing? Like, really, she has no say in anything. Why do I care about her opinion? They just don't know, man. They just don't know what to do on CNBC. Guys, if you guys need help, call me. It seems like you do. All right, guys, market just taking a pause now. It seems like it's on wait and see. We'll see if the market does take a downturn. That's what I think could happen here, but just holding off right now. I don't see the up action. I see the down right now, but I don't see also a breakdown either. Wells Fargo is making an up attempt here, so we'll see what happens. Qs are trying to hold, and so is the SPY. But if I start to see quick moves, I'll take a bet. Looking for the next quick move, the momentum. You can see the momentum's died off right now. And now we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts to break the 5165 on the VXX. The same thing that we had on the high, we're running into on the downside now. Now the reversal could come in. It could hit 65, it could 60s, it could hit 50 and then reverse. So that's why I'm waiting to see the turn. But the turn's going to happen, especially back through 5175. VXX ready to go. And if I do go about it this time, I'm going to probably go about it with 1,000 shares and look to add another 500 on the breakout. Breakout will be back through the VWAP and looking for the expansion move. Here's that downward attempt here and the SPY making an upward attempt. And it just makes sense, right? The only question is, will we get a whipsaw after this? All right, guys, in California, the average house is $800,000. Well, Vic, if to just support a mortgage at $800,000, I think the household has to at least, at minimum, make $200,000, if not $300,000 a year. That is absolutely insane. I know that people make money out there in California, but how much money are they making? It's ridiculous. This is the reason why I left Colorado. Colorado is my favorite state, guys. I grew up in Florida. I'm back in Florida, but I'll tell you right now, Colorado is my favorite state. But all those Californians ruined it. And to tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan of people from California, just because they have a tendency of going elsewhere and ruining it for the others, right? Colorado Springs, you used to be able to get a house for $200,000, $300,000, a really nice house. Now those houses are going $700,000. $800,000, $1 million. I'll tell you right now, that's just too much money, guys. You're putting yourself at risk for a disaster, and I don't want to put myself at risk for disaster in any situation. But we'll see what happens here, guys. Definitely a slowdown after a down attempt, but the Qs haven't made their way back, right? They're just kind of fading right now. VXX now setting up here. We'll see what happens. And also, I'm starting to see that decline in Qualcomm. So it keeps rejecting that 170 move. That's something that I'm just looking at. Here's that 75 starting to recover here. Will the Qs and the SPY make that down attempt here? Let's see what happens. All right, just saw a little bit more weakness. Just took my first starter there. VXX, long, guys, long. Going to look for this to start to climb back there. 595, something like that. I'll go ahead and I'll add another 500 shares. Maybe you can even go 1,000 shares at that point. But looking for a nice little push here. Let's see what happens. All right, 5195s will give me that add. Let's see what happens here. Risking about pretty much the money that I've made already, right? Like that's one thing that I can easily risk, which is the 140s, 150s. I can risk that. And that's down there below the low right now. So nice action right here. Let's see if we can really start to get the SPY to come down. We did make a fake out to the downside. Now we're trying to recover. So just keeping that in mind. If I need to get out, I will. All right, let's see if the SPY can come back down here. It is making an up approach. The VIX could have just caught me there. We'll see what happens. If I look at it on the 15 minutes, I'm playing it off the 15-minute low, right? The 15-minute low is around here, the 51.75. We did go down there multiple times, 1, 2 times below towards the the 50 EMA, and we could come back down there. That's the 65s here. So just got to keep this in mind. Q's now breaking to the upside. So in a second here, I might just get out as I'm not seeing the downside come into the market, but I'm still up essentially here. So just looking to see what happens here. Going to keep it tight because of the way that the market action's doing right now. So I'm just risking 20 bucks right now. Smallest risk right now. If it goes in my favor, it goes in my favor. It cuts me out, cuts me out. If the market was like going down here, I wouldn't risk the 20. I'd risk like 100 to 120. But look at the Qs. They're actually making an up move here, and the SPY is making an up move. So I'm not going to fight that action with the VXX. I'll just leave a little bit of room just in case it runs. But other than that, I don't want to be jumping in there. And if anything, I want to take my stop off, right? Don't want to get ads right here until I start to see the SPY turn around. Really close to cutting out there, and if I do get cut out there, it's more than fine, right? It's just a $20 cut. All right, looking around to see what else is making a move, and I see the Qualcomm starting to come down. So if for any reason I do get cut out, I could also take a look to see if Qualcomm short, right? And that's another one that I'll be watching. There's the action on the upside for the Qs and the SPY. And so with that being said, just got cut out of the VIX there, $20 loss there, but really manageable loss. Still up 90 bucks. Can use that 90 bucks to take another bet here if the SPY does go red. If it just starts to climb back there, I can take a look at Apple. Apple would be the one that I'd watch to maybe make an upside move today. And you can see it there, 235 now recovering, could go towards the 237 breakout, maybe a new high. But just watching that as maybe a potential upside. But you take a look at the stocks right now and what's starting to lead and what's not. I take a look at it and I see defensive, healthcare, financials, and basic materials getting a little bit of a spike. But if I look at it, there's not really much action in the last hour. It's a lot of chop and nothing up more than 0.5% or down more than 0.5%. So what does this mean? That we're in pretty much chop, right? So stocks that have like started good, this is healthcare is down overall, but from the open, it's up a little bit, but it's not really going anywhere, right? That's something to think about. Financial services, not really going anywhere right now, just kind of hanging out there. So is basic materials. Technology is starting to get a little bit of a bounce. You can keep an eye on it, but hey, it doesn't look like the best today. And it's one of those days where it's a little bit choppy, and that's how it's been this last week, pretty much. Q's continuing trying to climb back there. We'll keep an eye out on that to see if it makes the next step up there. How's VRAX and those smaller plays? 266 on VRAX. So definitely was a fade at the open. Was able to short this today. Make some green, not as much, but hey, we're going to keep battling, guys. We're going to fall into the green, and that's the way I view it. Set yourself up, and eventually you end up getting a nice big win. The XX now starting to get a little bit of a spike there, guys. So back towards the 5180s, but I don't see the Qs moving, and this is very hard to bet on. And when the market's making an up move, if I could see the hard down move, I would take the bet. I'd take it. But the truth is that the market's not doing it, and I need to see some action first before I start betting too big. But you can see here on the 15-minute how it is rejecting that 494s, really. Here's the SPY starting to go red there. Now we're starting to get some downside action here. Could just start coming into it now on the 5180s. All right, now getting some real leak here. Let's see if we can get it. All right, guys, I just took another 500 shares. Want to take some more, but looking for a little bit of a pullback here to the 75s to see if I can get a little bit of an ad here. The SPY is coming back a little bit, but it's not a big breakdown, so just got to keep watching on it. I see the Qs or Qualcomm getting a little bit of a hit there. That looks interesting towards me, but I'm going to stick with the VXX today. It's made me my money. I'm going to keep battling here. It's 10:50 though. I will tell you guys that I will be wrapping up in just a second here as I look to keep battling. Hey, and it hasn't been a bad day. I've taken some approach, taken some battles. Now let's see what happens. Only 500 shares this time on the first entry, because the truth is that as it keeps going more and more into it, I need to go at it slower, not faster. So in a second here, I will be adding the 1,000 shares, but back through the 5190s. So start to recover a prior resistance right here, the 5185. Then I can start looking at this. Qs, will the Qs go red for me on the 15-minute? That's what I'm watching right now. It doesn't look too bad on the first pullback, but needs a lot more. It needs a lot more. It's fighting the 9 EMA right now. Here comes the SPY looking a little bit like it wants to break back towards 581.10 here. Doesn't look too bad on the VXX. Just waiting and waiting here, looking for the next brick, next really kind of break to the upside here. Ooh, I think I just got hit on the Wells Fargo trade. So that's actually good signs here, guys. I think I got that ad on Wells Fargo. I'll be keeping an eye on that on the side here. Yeah, Wells Fargo just filled me. So definitely getting the downside action in Wells Fargo, taking the shot. Look at the spike there, guys. Nice spike here on the first action. I'm taking the ads here, guys. I just added 1,000 shares there, looking for the breakout. Let's see if we can get it. Quick spike in the SPY down there. So that's actually good action there. Let's take a look if I can add some more of Wells Fargo and just keep a look at that. So I'm going to Wells Fargo right now. This is in the limited account. I'm going to risk 0 now at this point and just look for a really nice breakdown here. Let's see if I can make like another $100 on the account today. Maybe $150. So putting it in there, stop loss, break even on that limited account. Gonna stay green today. That's for sure. Now seeing the breakdown there on the VXX and the Qs and the SPY. So let's see if we can really get that wash and this just takes off back through the high of 52.35. There's a nice little push there back towards the 52.04. So now we're up almost $200 on one little spike there. So that's the idea here, guys, is that I'm trying to get into a nice little big trade like this, right? Where it can give me that nice potential reward fast, guys, fast. So now we're really kind of breaking out here. So I'm looking for where I could potentially take profits. I'm throwing it up there way away from it, guys. Threw it up there at 53. I'm just looking for continued breakdown in the SPY and the Qs. Let's see what happens here. 52.15 now coming back. Really wouldn't want to see even 52 break on this as I start to watch this. Going to make sure that I make like another $100. But let's keep it moving. Let's go. Let's go. Right now, I definitely would break even. I wouldn't lose on this position. I'm giving myself the chance to make the money, though. So if the market wants to break down, pay me $1,000, I'll get it, right? So here you guys have it. I'm sorry about the full screen being up here. VXX, full it in there. 1,500 shares, 51.89, up 300 right now. Looking for that continuation to happen there. Good approach there. Willing to get out, willing to get back in. Something that I'm working on this week. We always talk about habits that we want to make improvements on. And that's what I'm really big on lately. So for me, big habit to improve on, getting out and getting back in. Something I definitely want to be able to do, especially when I'm high sized. All right, guys, please do me the favor, guys. You guys enjoying the action today. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get some more likes out there. And of course, some retweets or some kind of retweets on X. Hit that, guys. Let everybody know this is where you guys want to be hanging out. Q's now approaching the real breakdown. The SPY went down fast to that 580.50s here. Now really looking to see if this can just continue to work. Right? That's really what it's all about here. Taking off the target profit. I don't even want to be showing anything right now. I just want to be kind of just watching the action here and seeing that the market continues to work in my favor. Qualcomm was a good bet there, guys. I'm going to take a look at that to show you guys the trade because we broke it down before it happened. Was looking for that breakdown back, rejecting the 170. It's back to 169. Could keep going to 168. We'll see what happens there in Qualcomm. VXX now pulling back a little bit as the Qs bounce. We could go to the VWAP. That's where I'm thinking that we can at least retrace back to. That's 94. So I wouldn't want to even see anything below that 94 now. Looking for that continuation, looking for the SPY to go to 580s here and the Qs to go back towards 491.50s, which is ways away for the Qs. So the Qs got to show a little bit more weakness here. That's really going to help us. Look at the Qs here. I'll show you guys it. You can see the weakness coming in right now through the trend line approach. Now it's coming towards this trend line approach. Will it break this trend line approach? That's one thing I'll be looking for here. It could bounce off of that. That's one thing to think about. We'll see what happens. 492.50s, next level to watch for on that Qs for the continuation. Let's see if we get it here. 492.60s. I saw 63 show up there for just a second. Yeah, 62s showing up there for a second. Let's see if we can get that takedown through that level. SPY still pretty down there. Now we're towards 52.20s here. So definitely getting the move here, guys. I'm going to be able to at least make 170 here. I'm towards the 52s. Now we're really rocking and rolling here, guys. 52.25s. I'm up 500. Looking for that continuation. Let's go, guys. Let's see if we can get it, guys. It just seems like we're getting a nice bar. We're going to approach these highs, the 52.35s. If the Qs can break through the lows and the SPY can break through the lows, we can get a big expansion here in the VIX. So that's what I'm looking for. Back up above the 580.70s. We'll probably just take the money and run in this trade, but really trying to make that nice $1,000 trade here. And you guys out there, smash the like for this because there's not many people breaking it down the way that I'm doing it right here on Trade the Pool. All right, guys, my phone out there is making a bunch of... My phone feels like it's about to blow off. It just means like it's really hot here, but it's in my pocket. It's about to just blow up. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. I'm looking around. All right, we'll see what happens there. Looking good here. 52.30s, guys. 52.30s approaching, guys. I'm trying my best to just be calm here because what happens a lot of times is that we don't let the market work for us, right? We work for the market versus the market work for us. That's what I'm looking for right now. Can the market work for me right now? We'll see what happens here. $600 already there. So now at this point, 20 cents down, I can go ahead and just make sure that I at least make some money today. That's $320 at 52.10s. But looking for the expansion, not going to put it out there. But if it comes back, I got to take the 52.10s here. I might stay a little bit of overtime here as I'm going into the green here, but I need you guys out there. Smash the like. Smash it right now. Let me see how the likes are doing, and that will determine if I stick around for some bonus or not. Because I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to keep trading this, but about to head out here. What a trade here. Let's go. I want to make the $1,000, but market needs to keep working here. All right, getting a little pullback off of that. Could come back towards 52, right? So keeping that in mind, ready to take some money and run. Pulling back here, the market, it's all about that. I think it's more about the Qs here. The SPY is really weak. It's the Qs that are kind of holding up a little bit higher. And so they're trying to recover that trend line. And I'm watching that, right? If it can expand to 492s, I think we're looking really good for the breakdown. But if it holds this 492.50s, not looking great. So, all right, trying to just watch this expansion move to see if we can get it. Here you guys see it a little bit bigger. I'm trying to make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see that action off of that. 1, 2, 3 times to try to break it here. This is the attempt here. 492.40s. That's a good move there. Don't want to recover back above the trend line now. Wanted to hold this kind of 492.75s. Back through the 493s tells me I need to get out. All right, guys, let's see if we get a quick spike here towards the 5260s. 5260s could make me a nice $1,000 here. Let's see if we get that spike here. Throwing out my profit way up there, guys. 52.85, just in case we get a quick spike there. What I'll do is I'll trail here. In a second, I'm going to move the stop here towards 52.20s, where we'll secure 570s. If it could break out here through the 52.30s towards the 52.40s. The SPY is trying to break down here. The Q's made an attempt to the 492.40s. Looking to see if that stays above that line now, the 492.75s. Rejects the trend line and then comes down towards that 492 is what I'm looking for. If it doesn't give it to me, I'll just take some money and run here. Qualcomm did break down back towards that 169, now 168.60s. SPY heading towards the low now, 580.35. Let's go. Q's, Susie Q, what you gonna do? There's a bounce there, guys. Be careful. I'm watching it. Let's see what happens here. Does the SPY break the lows? 580.30s. Through towards 580s is really what I want to see. A move to 580s, and this really rocks and rolls and gets up there towards the 52.60s. Q's now bouncing there, so just be careful there. I'm seeing the Q's bounce there. It's going to have to do a rejection of 493s. The SPY could bounce also, so keeping that in mind here. SPY's approaching the 540s, 530s breakdown. Now we're approaching towards the high of the day on VXX. Q's rejected 493s there. Let's go. 1102. I got to get the hell out of here, guys. About to just, I'm looking for the breakout above this 35. This is last minute, guys, and then I got to get out of here. What a day, guys. Do me the favor, guys. Smash me the like if you guys enjoy me showing you guys the action out there and everything that I do. There's not many traders that are willing to show you guys this, and that's what it's all about here at Trade the Pool. I work very hard to show you guys that, and it's not easy. I'll tell you guys that. It definitely puts more pressure on me to be fully transparent, everything I do with stops, target profits, things like that, right? There's not many traders doing that. I'll tell you that. All right, seeing a little pop back there in the Qs, just looking for the rejection above the 493s. If not, we can go to chop and we go back to 494s. I'll tell you what, I'll take the money and run. SPY approaching the breakdown here, and it's just holding. I think it's the SPY that's leading right now. The Qs are kind of just lagging back. SPY now made 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts towards 580.30s. Now if it goes to 580.50s, got to be careful because that's the move right back above the 9 EMA. All right, guys, not seeing the move. I'm seeing the SPY reject there. I'm setting a profit take and I'm out. That's as simple as that, guys. I saw the Qs come back. I saw the SPY come back. I'm not fighting it. I'm taking the money and run. Yesterday, we had a $500 loss where I mismanaged the trade. So today, what? $500 back in the green, 589 back in the green. Green on the account. Let's go. Battling on the account the way it should be, right? So battled on it, made what, 600 today. There was potential to make more, right? If it goes in my favor there, I make $1,000 today and I'm up $500 on the account, up $600 on the account. That's what I want to be doing here. I hope you guys appreciate me walking you guys through that. You guys saw me close it there, 52.23s, really good outlook and a battle today, guys. So you guys see it, 2 trades on today, 1 red, right? 1 loss on the VIX where I had to cut it really quickly. I put a $20 risk, but the stop like leaked a little bit there. It gave me a 45 down. So took 147, took 507. Not a bad trading day at all. Let's go to the limited account here and see how that's doing with the Wells Fargo. Just got cut off the break even. So 174 for Wells Fargo for the limited account today. Still made a nice trade in VRAX, right? Nice short. there in the smaller names. I've been doing the smaller names with the limited account, and I'm going to continue trying to do that. Not a bad one there. VXX looks like it's trying to recover there. We'll see what happens, guys. I got to get out of here. Smash the like. We'll see you guys next time. Like always, trade the pool, guys, and let everybody know this is the place to be. Always hit me up, guys, at MoneyMitch_TTP, and hit that like button. We'll see you guys back tomorrow.